I made you a fucking senior partner of my podcast, and this is the work ethic that you're showing me? Are you serious?
Well, you
You're
kept
gonna
talking over it, so clearly it didn't come through. Welcome,
You're gonna
everyone,
say-
to the Opinion Planet podcast, Armistice Veterans Day, American, European, World War I, World War II, World War III edition. Shout out to all my baby killers and alcoholics.
America #1. I am your other host. America is #1.
Yep.
I am your other host, GymBagBob.
Oh, you fucking hate America. Is that it?
Yeah, say the line.
Yeah, say the line. Say the line. Come on. That's not all right. That's an ego.
I said it, and I have lumbago, so.
You have lumbago?
Lumbago.
What disease do you think you're gonna have? Genuinely. Like, you're gonna get one. I just know it.
Probably testicular cancer, since I work around radars.
I
have a
the radar at your balls, just like, haha, look at me, guy.
No, but I mean it's possible. I have a coworker that says he has 3 testicles and he has yet to get it checked. He's been complaining about it.
Has he shown you proof? He's
No.
like, made you...
But he's honest about it. He was jerking off and he noticed.
Be a hell of a thing.
At least I would have said like I found it in the shower or something.
Yeah. No, he's honest. I mean, that would be the time to find out about it.
Yeah.
Shit,
Wait, do you check your balls regularly?
I'm about to. I want to make sure I don't have a third.
I actually have like a little cyst in there. I found out when I was like younger, and I wasn't jerking off then. All right, you pedophiles. I was actually taking a bath. I was freaking out. It was the weirdest fucking doctor's appointment ever. I was like, okay, when let nobody else touch down here, okay? So the doctor said.
That was like some of the most uncomfortable doctor visits as a child. I mean, you know, the physical side. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It just rubs you the wrong way. Random people that you've like first time ever seen. All right, I'm gonna touch your balls. You're gonna need to cough for me.
Whoa, I've never had that happen to me when I was younger. When I was enlisting to the army, I've had that happen, but
I'm guessing it was a guy that was like doing the cupping.
Yeah, it was an old guy.
It's
always an old guy.
Did you ask him if like I'm pretty big? You got to make it more uncomfortable for him than it is for you, and that's how you win.
Yeah, take as long as you want down there.
I got all day.
Squat a little lower. All right, that's horrible. This is a PG-13 family-friendly podcast. Veterans Day edition. We can't do this.
So yeah, have you thanked a veteran today? Either one of you?
No.
Fuck no.
One.
I mean, you're talking to one right now.
He's not a veteran.
What? You know, I think it's actually a good thing.
By definition, I don't think I'm a veteran yet by most things.
You can say that you are.
I mean, I guess technically I could, but I mean, I think it's so most of the time it's like 2 years active duty.
So like I could be sitting on my ass for 2 years and that would qualify me. I could genuinely say without like any shred of lying that I'm a veteran. I served.
Sit on your ass for 2 years?
Well, all right, not like everyone in the military, I'm sure, but there's got to be those people that like just do kind of nothing.
I mean, they're called the chair force for a reason, right? I mean, at the very least, I can say that I jump out of planes, and every once in a while, I get an increase of testosterone and adrenaline. But you know, for the people who don't, my legs out there, you know, who just sit on their ass, yeah.
Have you personally thanked a veteran today? Have you had the opportunity?
No. Why would I?
Have you ever thanked a veteran?
Yeah.
Did you mean it?
Yeah, when I was younger, a little more brainwashed.
What do you think?
I mean,
like,
I mean, some of them appreciate it. Some of them are like, "All right, come on, man, shut the fuck up." I'm like, "All right, well, fuck you then."
Here I am taking time out of my day to thank your ungrateful ass.
Exactly.
Molly?
Yes.
Would you ever thank a veteran?
Maybe.
What would it take for you to like say, you know, they're in fucking Walmart, they have the whole military garb? Would you just like
No, I would never just go up to someone like that.
What would it take for you to thank a veteran? Like what context does there have to be for you to thank them?
If I know them personally,
You'll like say
maybe.
thank you for your service specifically.
Okay, well then why didn't you say thank you to me?
You don't deserve it yet.
Yet?
And
Yeah, I've
by
yet
then,
to go to war, huh?
yeah. If you go to war, if you're in a war and you don't get your head like popped off, I'll thank you for wasting my fucking money. That's what I'll
Yeah.
thank you.
Isn't it worse if you don't? Like, if you don't go to war and you're just throwing shit away for your military career, throwing away tax dollars?
Yeah, but at least like if you actually go, that's exciting for you as long as you don't die. I
I
don't.
don't know if I'd say exciting.
Yeah, I'd say it's exciting. I mean, there's a reason why people sign up, right? The idea of excitement. And then, like, once you're, like, most of the anecdotes that you hear is like, when you're in a firefight, you're not really scared. It's just like, okay, this is my
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the moment. There's nothing else I can do but fight back.
I imagine what I meant. Obviously, I've never been there, but if you're just a civilian kind of caught in the crossfire, it's gonna be fucking terrifying. Your whole goal is to survive, but if you're, the one with a weapon, at least you can kind of, all right, I've
Yeah.
been trained for this. I feel like you'd have to treat it like, all right, this is my Call of Duty moment. It's time to shine.
I mean, some parts, yeah. I feel like most of it, I don't know. Maybe most of the time it's like Call of Duty moment. I feel like some of the time it's like, all right, this is my job.
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel like
yeah.
I feel like you're kind of fucked up in the head if like you get to that point, but
I don't even know if you have to be fucked up in the head, just like as a way to deal with the reality of this.
just cope with just the idea of
Me personally, like, all right, sweet. I'm in the newest Black Ops installment right now. It's not going so well for my team. We're on a losing streak right now.
I mean,
For some
the only
reason.
thing I can compare it to is again like the only exciting thing I've done in my life is jumping out of a plane, where your brain just kind of shuts off and you just like if you're in like an entanglement or you're on top of somebody's chute and you're losing like air in your canopy, it's like you don't really think it's dangerous in the moment. You just kind of like pay attention and get out of it.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be hard pressed to focus on anything other than the fact of like how high up I am and how fast I'm falling. I don't know.
Oh no! Oh, that's the first time that's happened. No,
What?
you don't. You don't really think about that. It's kind of like when you're driving on a freeway, you don't really think about how fast you're going because everyone's going the same speed. It's like you're staying
Yeah.
still with them.
I guess yeah. I mean, I still check. Just I don't know. It's
I
a
mean,
habit.
obviously
Just
you're still aware of how fast or how you're falling, but talk about something interesting. I'll be right back.
all right, sweet.
Okay.
I suppose we can get let's just jump on one of the topics we had preset before this. Before our guest, we finally have a guest, ladies and gentlemen, gets here. We'll introduce her when she comes on, but
Why'd you grab my phone?
because I wanted to see what the topics were, and I figured it'd be easier to grab your phone, but you know what? I have my phone. So yeah, Omegle, that kooky pedophile website.
All right,
Shut
I've returned.
down.
My wine spilt when I opened it,
Oh shit.
so I cleaned it
Good
up.
job.
Thanks, asshole.
You're welcome.
I should be nicer to you. I feel like I abuse you on these episodes.
Hey, you keep this behavior up, we'll file a report to HR.
I
You know what's funny? I
am
can't tell
HR. What's that?
my boss is like putting on a face, but HR for the company I worked for, they were contacting me about two things. One, my employee written review of like certain things. How well has the company been treating me? What are some of the things we've done bad?
Yeah.
And then also the 2 weeks notice that I put in. And on that survey, I kind of accidentally put that like my boss has been extremely unhelpful and he's just
Yeah.
been like garbage to work with.
You.
Were
For
you
the most
honest?
part,
Were you honest though?
no, I mean, for the most part, whenever I've called him with a technical question, he always gives the best answers. So I made sure to tell the HR lady, like, no, genuinely, I think I fucked up on clicking the wrong button. And,
Yeah.
he's been pretty helpful. But no, as soon as I mentioned that to him, he just had like a look of, are you fucking serious? Did you just lie about me? Like, it's not that serious. What is HR
Yeah.
gonna do? I mean, maybe they could fire him, but I fucking
Maybe just makes him look bad. Maybe stunted his growth in his career a little bit. That's fucked.
Probably.
So you think you genuinely fucked up?
No, I don't think I fucked up. I think it's funny.
Oh, you did it because you thought it was funny?
Well, all right. On that survey, I think I fucked up.
Okay, so you did
Like, it
fuck
didn't.
up, but now
But
that it happened, you don't really regret it because you think it's funny.
yeah, I mean, I don't really give a shit if it stunts his career. If all it takes is for one employee to leave like a slightly negative review, I feel like there's bigger issues with the company itself.
Yeah. Or
No, it's
maybe
great.
him because there's other negative reviews about him.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. One of the other people that have been on the podcast, Flaming Fossil, Isaac, if you're fucking listening to this, maybe you are. His dad worked for Mediacom actually for my boss. They were both technicians at the time. My boss was kind of just like making up stories saying how Isaac's dad, they'd go into a customer's house and Isaac's dad just would not shut the fuck up about his wife just divorced him and how much of a bitch and how much of a cunt she was.
Yeah.
And other customers, apparently. So, I asked Isaac about it and just, no, I really don't think my dad's the kind of person to just like mention that shit, especially in front of customers and especially to other coworkers. So it's good. I'm sure like the day after I'm gone, my name will just get thrown around like a punching bag. But
Good.
yeah,
I hope so.
it's great. For the viewers that actually give a shit, it's my last week with my current company. Found a much better paying job. The work is probably worse, but it's not bullshit work. All right, it's not fucking flipping bird. All right, not that that's a bad line of work, but it's hands on at least.
Right.
I feel like you can actually learn something possibly valuable, maybe, just maybe. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hopeful for your new stint.
Uh, my first day is the 28th of November. It'll be, I don't know. I'll have more to say after it, but yeah, it'll be exciting. Did you guys? I suppose Molly, you can't ever answer this because you're still working at the same job. How nervous do you feel, like the first couple of days or weeks at a new job, Jason? Do you ever have that feeling of like, oh, this is gonna kind of suck. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I hate this feeling.
So I know my brother gets that, and I suppose I would think that it's intensified, that feeling, if you've gone to school for it, because you have that feeling of I should know this. I went to 2 years of schooling for this. Me personally, not really. It's new experiences. I just feel like the new guy. I just feel like newbie.
Yeah.
I mean, I showed up here, obviously, you know. What I've been trying to do is trying to. So you already look like a fucking idiot because the rank you have, and privates are notoriously retarded. Sorry for the R word, but that is the hard truth. So I've been just since day one just proving otherwise. It's pretty much what I do.
It's good. I hope
What?
to do the same. I probably won't, but
Yeah. I mean, maybe you will as long as you like try in your job, you pay attention, you're attentive to what you're doing. Usually leadership picks up on that. And I've done that through like Boyga King, the retail job, UFC, as long as, you're opening to learning.
I didn't learn shit. I mean, I learned something at UFC. I learned like the names of various tools, but I swear I can't say a single thing that I learned other than like what most common handheld tools are called and what the uses are for them.
I
I
mean,
mean, granted,
I learned
I was
quite a
only there,
bit.
I was only there for like 3 months, but
Yeah. I was there for only like 3 months. 3 to 2 months. I learned a lot.
maybe I just don't
I
like.
shaped tools. I learned, of course,
It's
different
not
tools'
something
names.
that you can learn fast.
Well, Jason
for
fucking
you.
learned it fast.
You aren't Jason.
I should be better, right?
What else? You got, I mean, I learned to be better with heights.
Yeah,
It's not always like, book terms, or it's just like other skills that you learn, like how to handle heights better. I know. I like the idea of having a diversified group of jobs because I have a variety of different skills that I obtain from them. And
Yeah.
so a lot of it is patience, especially with retail and jobs working with customers.
I
But
think we could be like the counterculture to today's hiring market where they look for like long-term consistency with like only one or two companies for your entire life. No, we're gonna look for the people that have quit like 2 days into a new job.
yeah, why
They've
did you
done
quit? I'd love to. That would be interesting. Why'd you quit this job? I'd love to hear it.
I
Like,
would love to be an
leadership
interviewer.
was an asshole. Reasonable.
I hope to be worse than them.
Yeah.
I hope-
Um, Speaking of interviews, we're hiring at the place I work, and the manager had 2 interviews set up yesterday. One of the ladies, when asked, "What are your hobbies?" said, "Riding lawnmowers for a thrift store." Like, yes, we're gonna
How old is she?
older lady.
So an elderly woman. She's been around the
Yeah.
block with job interviews. Like, come on. Like, you've had experience.
I don't know. Job interviews are always a fucking interesting experience.
Yeah, you have to pretend that everything you do is shaped around the company.
Yeah, I know for McDonald's it was pretty simple. I mean, first job is like, yeah, I just want to get my foot in the workforce and it's local and you guys are hiring and I'm fucking 17, so I
Yeah.
can't really do much else. So hire me, please.
I also am a student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, most other one like I'll say for whatever reason, whenever the interviewer is a woman, I seem to do a lot better than if it's a man.
Hey.
Hey.
I don't know. Maybe it's just 'cause, like,
Wait, you do
the men
better if it's a female?
the men aren't as conversationalist, all right? They're more brass tacks, less
They're more
I've
straight to the
I've had the
yeah.
opposite experience, at least with Tart. Yeah. I've had the opposite experience.
I don't know. I feel like I
For my
mean,
retail job and for Target, they're more straight to the point. Like, okay, all right. Maybe it's just how I was when I was younger, but
maybe. I don't know. I not like more than half the time, but just go off on random tangents, like an actual conversation instead of just all right. Here's the job. I don't know. Maybe it's just the people I've had interviewing me. I mean, one of the jobs I interviewed for was a truck washing company. Um, the job itself sounds fucking awful. It's 12-hour shifts. You're constantly spraying down trucks, doing minor welds. You're always soaking wet, no matter the weather. You're not allowed to call in sick. You get PTO after working there for 1 year. It sounds kind
nice.
of, but
Yeah.
there's two people interviewing me. I'm not sure what the guy's position was, and then the other was the accountant lady, for whatever fucking reason. But yeah, I don't know. She was more sociable than the other guy. She actually answered the questions that I had, and not him. And he was the one that like kind of oversees what I'd be doing if I worked for that. I don't know.
Maybe you just got a shitty. Because I mean, when I was going for the U card office at the university I was at, the guys were pretty conversationalist. I mean, at the same time, they were also desperate, and I was going into it like they need me. I'm the guy. I'm him.
I'm him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got the job. Now, my
I
first
mean,
interview, the Burger King one, I showed up in a suit and tie.
that's pretty funny. Funny.
That is pretty good. Or it was, I don't know. That was off topic. I just thought that would be interesting to throw out there.
Yeah. I've showed up dressed nice to most interviews. I mean, for a local manufacturing company, I put on like a suit jacket.
Okay.
Like if a business pants, I'd look really official, but I just had a casual shirt underneath. I don't know. I got my fit inspiration from Andrew Garfield's character from The Social Network. That's what I was trying to go for. His
Okay.
like
Yeah.
outfit.
That's pretty good.
These are fun. They're easier when you like really don't give a shit and you're just kind of doing it to just fill time and say fuck it, let me do something exciting. See how well I can market myself.
I mean, it does make sense because you are like the Andrew Garfield character of OPP and our other affiliate companies. So.
Oh, I see where this is going then. All right. You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for this 10%.
All right.
I shouldn't have done
Wait, isn't... Oh, is that what he says? Is that what Andrew Garfield says?
Yeah, you should lawyer
Oh,
up,
yeah,
asshole,
yeah.
because I'm not coming back for just 10%. I'm coming back for my everything.
My everything.
You're half.
And then he doesn't get it.
You are.
It's great. I'm excited for when we get back to that point where I act
Yeah.
entitled. Why is nobody giving any other ideas?
You're going to become Walter White.
Yeah.
No, for context, for our 0 viewers, we were looking back through some of our old Discord chats, and Jason had, I don't know what kind of personality you'd call it.
It wasn't a superiority complex. It was just... It was like maybe some sort of desperation. Like, you guys said that you were going to work on it, and I have nobody else I can work on it with.
Gimme complex.
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't know. Yeah.
We're changing as people for the better. Should we
Yeah, speaking of interviews.
Yeah, let's interview.
Yeah, for the first time in OPP history. Actually, first off, I'd like to shout out that we made it to episode 14. Our last run, we only made it to 13, and
we're doing better.
We died. We're getting past the hump. And in celebration of that, totally planned, we have a guest for this episode.
Yeah.
It is a coworker of someone, and they like to ghost people when they're given job opportunities. So I'd like to introduce someone. They're going to be coming on in a second.
You two have some history. We may or may not get into it.
Well, we're not going to get into it.
We're not. What are you talking about? This is juicy gossip.
There's something in common.
I don't think I know them well enough to go into that.
You should start off with like, "Hey, I know what it was like, and I'm sorry."
I'm sorry you had to go through that. All right, I just gave them the collar roll, and they should be hopping on any second now.
Let's hope this isn't a disaster. Well, it's not going to be a disaster. All right, if it starts to be a disaster,
can't be. We're too interesting for it to be a disaster. All right.
If it turns into one, we'll bully her until she leaves.
That's what I was thinking. I actually have some topics specifically for her. So
that's great. Hello, can you hear us?
Roger, can you turn it down a little bit?
Why are we in sleepy time?
That's a good question.
The hell?
Hello.
Hello. Okay, your audio is coming in.
Go to callers. I mean, can you go to callers, please?
You're the one that put us in sleepy time, Jake.
I didn't put us anywhere. It just kind of happened.
Interesting.
Callers.
That was my doing. I moved us to callers. Welcome, Mara, to the Opinion Planet podcast.
Sorry, what?
Welcome.
When you moved me, it turned off my speaker, so it went into the quiet speaker, so I couldn't hear anything.
That's good. We were just
we
didn't say anything that relevant.
Welcome to the Opinion Planet podcast. Whoa, we're getting some interference there. Who is that?
Huh?
The ghost of Christmas past.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was that Roger?
Who is that?
Yeah, he's playing with Xander.
Okay.
I am Fortniting.
Okay. Welcome to the Opinion Planet podcast, Roger and Mara, apparently. Yeah, how would
He's just kind of in the background.
How would you say your week has gone so far?
Long. every day feels like it's been really long.
Don't you love?
That kind of happens to you when you work retail.
Yeah.
All right. On the form, you said what's one long-term goal you have? You said to be successful in what I do. What do you do? What do you do?
I work retail. I work at a thrift store.
You'd love to become successful in retail. How do you imagine you'd be successful in that?
You can't. You really can't.
All right, I gotta let me interject, please. I got a question for you, Mara.
What?
How long do you say you would see yourself working at your current place of employment? Is this just kind of work there until something better comes up, or do you genuinely like it? And
Well, I'm expecting a little bit of a raise, and if that doesn't happen, I'm probably not going to work at this specific retail
that's
for
fair.
a lot longer because I can't afford it.
Money, yeah, that's
Yeah, money is like the biggest issue, and it sucks because I love my job, but the government doesn't like that I love my job.
How is the government intervening here?
Because they're the ones who don't pay us.
The thrift store is getting paid by the government?
Where do you get your money from?
The
The
customers?
government. Where do they get their money from? The government. From working for the government.
From their jobs. I mean, they can work government jobs.
I mean, I guess this would apply to Jason. Like,
yeah, this applies to me. I get paid by the government. I get paid by you. But, I mean, everyone gets paid by their jobs, I guess.
But all the money comes from one place.
Do you think that's a good system? Or do you think it's dog shit for the most part? I mean...
I feel like you're oversimplifying it, but essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off with it, right? But I'm totally getting back on.
They have the money to pay us, and they don't because it goes to the wrong places.
Yeah. There's a political candidate, you probably haven't heard of him, maybe you have. He introduced an idea, I'm forgetting what he technically called, for pretty much every person, just as like, you know, the fact that you're a citizen, you'd get $1,000 each month. The guy's name was Andrew Yang. Universal Basic Income. That was his idea, that every single person kind of gets like a stimulus check, you know, every month,
Like
just
for existing.
Yeah, you live in America. Here's some money for primarily, you know, your essentials, food, rent, shelter. But you know, you budget. You have a little bit left over to spend on everything else.
Communism.
Right.
Well,
I don't know.
I think that could kind of work for the short term, kind of like stimulus. But again,
yes, absolutely.
Kind of like stimulus checks. But I think really we should be focusing on bringing up pay as inflation goes up instead of just doing big jumps in inflation or big jumps in pay.
Exactly.
Yeah, but every time they do that, they always squeeze in some reason why we're still broke. It's just not enough. What they do, they act like it's big, but it's not enough to actually make any difference either.
Right, by raising your pay by like 10 cents or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, thanks. That'll really help my bills.
Right.
I mean, at least it's something. I mean,
no, it's not something.
No, it is something.
It's a joke.
If it's 10 cents every year, it's at least better than getting nothing every year and then inflation goes up.
Well, yeah,
but 10 cents really is, because 10.59 to 10.69 isn't going to help your bills at all.
You get an extra.
Yeah, I mean, it's exponential growth. I see where you're going with it, but I'm just saying at the very least it's something over not growing at all.
But it's not really something if, I want to get that extra 10-cent raise, but guess what? My taxes for gas just went up too.
Right.
No, what I'm talking about
like
isn't
30 cents.
It isn't a raise. It's a money that
grows.
Yeah, it's money that grows with inflation. You know, as inflation grows, the paychecks kind of proportionally.
Yeah, I don't know. They treat it like it's a raise, especially if they can hang on to it.
So I got a question for both Mara and Roger in the background, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Being realistic with the companies that you guys work with, what do you think you should be getting paid? Please be fair to the company. You know, they still have to make a profit, but you should be getting more money as well. Where do you think that middle ground lies at for your
It's
specific line?
difficult to say because the line of work we do has us do things that we really shouldn't be doing because
What do you
other places get paid way more, like $20 an hour to do what we have to do. And we didn't get the training for it. We don't get the pay for it. And
Mhm.
there are people's lives that we have such a huge effect on,
Yeah.
and we don't get compensated for that.
So, and just for clarification for our 0 viewers, I'm gonna keep mentioning the fact that we have 0 viewers until we fucking have one. Both GymBagBob and Mara work at the same location.
Yes.
So
We have the same job.
yeah, they have the same job. She's the manager, so that means she can boss
Assistant.
She's the manager, she can boss whoever around.
Yeah.
Molly, what do you think, you know,
Realistically,
what do you think you're worth at the current place?
At Blue Dorn or
No, he's talking to Molly.
oh,
honestly,
Yeah, be honest.
I'd say at least 15
At least 15.
for a manager spot, you should be getting
Yeah.
like $20. You should be getting Audrey's pay, dude.
in reality
You
with
can't-
the company that I work for.
You have to also
They're
take
a
in account
nonprofit
the
organization, so obviously a nonprofit does pay less than if we weren't.
town you live
I
in as
mean,
well, or the town that the company's based in.
Yeah, I'd be very happy to make $20 an hour, but I think realistically thinking of the job, 15.
They could make 15. I mean, yeah, I don't know like how many employees, but I know you've mentioned to me that there's at least one there. I mean, granted, she's been there for her entire fucking life, but she's making like 20 an hour. So yeah, it's, you know, it's doable. Maybe not for everyone, but for the people that take on, you know, the lion's share. If they have a manager title and that actually means they have to do more shit than the average employee, they should get paid more because of that. I don't think that's too crazy to say. I mean, it is, you know, like you guys were both saying, a bit tricky with the fact that it's a nonprofit, whatever the fuck that means. Taxes and how they have to pay people and what expenses are taken out and what expenses are not taken out, but
yet they complain when never mind.
um
Tax exempt people. Tax exempt. How do you go exempt?
You don't. Those people are actually scammers.
who are scammers?
There are like people that come in and say, I'm tax exempt, so everything that you ring up has to not have tax. And that's bull, because
What?
you have to pay tax.
Even a fucking 5-year-old buying a candy bar has to pay tax. You're not fucking.
Yeah. And it's such bull to me.
The company that Mara and I work for are a tax exempt company. So if you go to Walmart, you give them your ID card, you don't have to pay tax on your items, even if they're taxable.
How do you get that? I want that.
I'm not actually sure.
But we buy it because we're buying the business supplies. What about the customers that come in and are saying that about buying like a toaster or something?
My question is it worth at car dealerships?
Who do you guys think should be? All right, I want to ask each one of you individually, starting off with Nocam. Do you believe that there should be any individual that should be tax exempt for like any regular purchase?
Personally, I think anyone who's under the age of 18 or voting age, because that is literally the definition of taxation without representation.
That's fair. What about like elderly people now?
Elderly people?
Yeah, any different for them or no?
I mean, they've been working their ass off. They've been putting in. I would say, like, if you're above 60, you've been paying taxes for your whole life. You've been funding all those bullshit government programs for your whole life. You might as well.
Like a retirement bonus?
Yeah,
you know,
just
you
get a
can-
little break from paying Uncle fucking Sam. You know.
Fair enough.
You know?
Mara, what about you? Same thing or different?
I mean, I don't know, pretty much same.
Fair enough. All right. Molly, same thing. Like,
Um,
is that you, Jason?
Yeah.
Funny man.
um, I think, yeah, if you're not old enough to vote, you shouldn't need to pay tax. You shouldn't have to do taxes. Or
Well, yeah.
like
Why is that?
taxation without representation.
Thank you. Now we're truly Americans. Celebrating
I
Veterans
was
Day.
so long when you were saying it.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I feel like there, to like realistically get that passed. I mean, even if we just focus on kids, because that, old people have representation. They fucking run Congress.
Mhm.
There wouldn't be a single person that is in the political environment at the moment. I think that would be in favor of like not taxing kids because, there's a lot of
Well,
kids
they
and
don't think about it.
they don't have to pay expenses, so their money just goes to whatever the fuck they want. For the most part. I mean, there's certain exemptions, obviously, but it's good. You know what, Mara? What country would you rather live in? Because I know you have one that you'd rather be in.
I actually don't.
Really? You like America?
No, I don't. But I haven't done
All right, I'm
enough.
curious. Why don't you
I
like America?
haven't done enough research on all the, I don't know, I guess the rules or just beliefs even of living in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been able to decide a favorite or where would I rather live because I haven't looked into it. I really don't know
So how can you decide that you dislike a place if you haven't seen the alternatives?
Because
because there's a lot of places wrong. I mean, that's how it starts for anyone.
All
You
right,
dislike where you are and you need to go away.
then what's wrong with it?
The people, really the people.
You'd say just
Yeah,
society as a whole?
Yeah.
I want
It's
to
pretty
ask
broad.
you more specific. Yeah, more specifically. I mean, I'm sure working retail. I mean, I worked, food service, so you still deal with a lot of shitty people or just cunts for no reason. Um, do you think like the average person is I don't know, yeah, in your line of work, the average person, are they alright, decent individual, or most of the people you encounter just kinda they look down on you because, your line of work or
I
just
wouldn't
you
say
know
I've ever had anyone look down on me for my line of work because I do think that how you present yourself to these people affects how they're going to see you and how your job affects, you as a person.
Well, I
Mhm.
do.
Um,
No, yeah, continue. No, I've worked retail. I know how the radio goes.
what the fuck are you you're taking the podcast with you every time you leave, you know that?
I forgot about that. Yeah, I wasn't even intentionally leaving. I was trying to pull up the soundboard, but I think that was better. That was more of a shit posty thing to do. All right.
Um, okay, so let me get this straight. One of the bigger issues that you have with at least like average day experience in this country, just the people you kind of come across for the most part. Most people are just shitty, kind of just assholes, or
Yeah, or they feel because of their um political standpoint, they're somehow
Better.
yeah, I mean, they a lot of people, you can tell what their beliefs are, and they can tell that you don't believe the same thing they do, and therefore treat you bad because
Yeah.
you are somehow different.
Kinda. I mean, there's a lot. I feel like that's a minority, and obviously that exists in a lot of other countries as well. I think terrorism is a very good extreme answer of that. You know, everyone has their own beliefs, and a lot more people hold it stronger than others.
Too bad we're all stuck in the same fishbowl, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's good. We're all the same in one way or another.
Are we? I mean, yeah. I do fundamentally agree we should all be the same. I mean, people get a sense of superiority for the stupidest fucking reasons. And,
Yeah.
not everyone, but the people that just walk in with that sense of superiority that they're better than you and they know it and they're gonna either verbally say it or just act like it.
I mean, everyone's
Mhm.
felt that way one way or another, and you're lying if you tell me that you haven't.
What was that?
Everyone has felt that way one way or another, and you're
Yeah,
lying
I
if
mean,
you're lying if you're disagreeing with me. But
no, I'm not saying that I've never felt that way. I mean, working food service, we think that we're better than the customers for whatever fucking reason. Like, really? You're coming here for food? You fucking fat ass? Really? But I think, I don't know. What's the best way to be more productive about it? How do we, it's a fucking hard thing to ever try and correct or
it's
fix.
biological. There is no way we're going to completely fix it.
Isn't it not? It could be
You're just
cultural.
kind of trained to be judgmental because you're never going to be the same as somebody else.
In extreme cases like racism, I'd say so. It's very cultural. But I think in a deep level, it's biological because we all have that territorial feeling or sense of superiority.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we just need to like keep it in check, and then we'll all be good.
Yeah, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Jesus.
I don't know.
I'm full
It'd
of
be an
zingers today, aren't I?
Yeah, it'd be an interesting world if like that stereotypical image. Everyone just gets along and there's no issues. Neighbors help each other.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
we're never going to see the utopia. I think there's
no,
going
but
to
like,
be.
I think utopia would be a disaster, anyways, because I mean, there's nothing that would go wrong. Everything's perfect all the time. It would be tedious and monotonous and basically pointless.
yeah, I can kind of agree. It'd take
You'd
away like one
say
of
a
the.
utopia would, in a sense, be a dystopia?
Yeah,
Interesting.
That.
we've never seen anything perfect, so at least in my opinion, perfect is not functioning.
Well, America's perfect, so
Yeah,
All right,
Says the
sure
military.
are.
I have to.
no, all right, they're
So
holding me to
perfect,
I
we've managed
think
to
if
make
they are.
every hate us.
Um, so I kind of want to press on this just a little bit more towards Mara and Roger. People. I'm not sure if that's your guys' both same answer, but what are some of the other as a country as a whole? What are some of the other things that you despise, dislike, wish would change?
You
Anything
know,
along?
one thing I really it disappoints me. It frustrates me is America sticks its nose in where it doesn't belong.
Yes, with
They
every other country.
with no fucks given. It's like I
Ooh, what's going on with you guys? Tell us, tell us.
and then we stick. Then we don't even start the war. We kind of join the war, and then
No, I think we pressure them into it. Actually,
Well,
Or we make
there's
up an
some
excuse, like
cases, yeah. A lot of them we justify it by like, well, we're helping these people. They have our interests. Most of the time, it is because of interests. Like
but they
most of the reason
only
why we're
help
defending
when there's
Taiwan
something
is
in it
for
for them.
electronics and silicon products. But
Like, I don't ever see the United States helping a country that actually needs help unless there is something in it for them, and that's usually some type of resource or money
yeah.
or workers from that country.
I mean, Afghanistan,
No countries.
they're just defending their land. United Kingdom, World War II, World War One, Civil War. Obviously, Vietnam was just a very political.
yeah, but
Korean
even
War.
that was a giant political scam, dude.
World War II? Was it political?
It was, but it wasn't what they originally said it was. I remember
No, I
hearing
don't follow war stuff. I really don't.
I remember hearing something about World War II and how they lied to everybody to send us over there. That there was some reason they lied to get us over there to go fight.
Oh yeah,
Like,
'cause there's we lied about Pearl Harbor.
yeah, there you go. Thank you.
I mean, it's every war is political. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some justifications of it, but a lot of modern day intelligence and protruding in other people's business, yeah, that's a little bit too much.
It's just that human desire. I want the land. It's mine. It looks shiny. Gimme, gimme.
It's
Yeah.
America's doing what like people do when they're like, "Oh, my life is kind of boring right now.
Make
I'm
it
gonna
let's spice it up a little bit.
Some drama.
let me."
Yeah, let's start drama.
Hey,
Let me
he
pay
called you a
attention to
bitch.
somebody else's drama.
I think our current president put it best, not when he was president, but when he was a senator, I believe, in regards to Israel. If Israel didn't exist, America would have to make an Israel to defend its position in
Yep.
that region or
I
to
remember.
assert interests in that region.
I remember hearing about that or seeing that clip.
Yeah, on one hand, I mean, looking at trying to look at it from I'm the leader of a country and I want what's absolute best for my country, no matter what. I kind of see why America tries its hardest to be the world police for the most part, because if you're the world police, whatever the fuck you want goes.
Right.
Until someone else decides they're the world police and whatever they say
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
Like the winners
I
write the
mean,
history books.
contradicting opinion. What about when that person that is leading or thinks that they are right is wrong?
9 times out of 10, that person that thinks they're right probably knows their own bullshit.
So why does that one person get to decide everything? What are you supposed to do about it at that point?
Because you supposedly elected them and they won fair and square. No. I mean, isn't
Yeah,
that
But that's
Yeah.
not true because
There's
it's
that
like your vote
utopia talk
doesn't even
again.
count. You vote for and it doesn't actually even count.
yeah. I mean,
the electoral college, I think that should be abolished. But
Same, actually.
yeah,
They
They
that
should
that
put
is
the same
stupid.
thing in high school. They elect your prom king and queen, and then it goes from that to now you got to sign this piece of paper to elect your president. And it's all a popularity contest.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think I
He
heard
came America to get away from that.
I was talking to a buddy at one time, and I think an interesting way to do elections would be to give them an allotted amount of money for voting and running for presidency, and the way, and you can't use any of your own money. It's just the allotted money that the government gives you, so everyone has like a fair shot of, kind of
You gotta be creative with
getting in there. You don't have to be you don't have to be like a millionaire to run.
I don't know. I think politics as a whole I mean, there's good people that go into it, people that want to help serve their communities and
Mm-hmm.
genuinely do good shit. And I'm
I
sure that's
wouldn't
what
even
most
call
presidents.
them people. There's a lot of good ideas that go in and out of it. It's just there's a lot of them good ideas get manipulated, and
Yeah.
then it just turned into a bunch of crap.
At the same time, though, I mean, I imagine like if for every I mean, I don't know if it'd be ideal. I think it would be. Would it be a clusterfuck? Like for every policy, for a federal policy, let's go with that. It's put to a vote, and you have to go to the voting ballot like every fucking week for a new policy that's being enacted. I mean, it would work.
That would be just such a hassle
It'd be
for
a
that average person.
Yeah, it'd be a logistics nightmare. And then the people that just like, I mean, do I really want to go to the voting booth? I'm gonna miss my fucking movie if I don't go.
There'd be a lot more of a chance of learning how to fudge ballots, though, as well.
Yeah, they could get really good. Maybe Trump would finally win.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you'd get a second go. Yeah.
Do you guys think that would work for like every new policy that's going to be passed on a federal level? it's not up to your state representative. Instead of the state representative, it is just every person. All right, go to the fucking voting booth, vote yes or no for it. Thank you. Goodbye.
I feel like that would be ideal, but a lot of people would just get like this meta mindset, like, well, I don't want to. I don't think I'm going to participate. They're going to make me participate in this. It's a waste of my time.
What if we just enact, all right, and hear me out, mandatory voting? If you don't vote, you go to fucking prison. That's a good idea.
It's kind of like the draft. I like that. I've been doing that to men for years.
How about we go the other way and
But I don't know, because then
boycott the system and don't vote at all? And I bet you their numbers still won't add up.
What about people in jail or prison or felons?
Yeah, that's true.
You lose your right to vote if you are a felon. So would they then be exempt from that and still have to vote?
That's another class of people that shouldn't be taxed. Felons.
It's interesting. Yeah, if they can't vote, then they can't be taxed. But they're still America's citizens, so that's interesting that they can't vote.
That should be based on what their crime was, because if you murder a kid, I'm not going to give you the luxury of not having to pay taxes. You're going to pay a lot of money because you did a really bad thing.
All right, I mean, it's fucked up, right? They probably got life, so they're not going to, like, be able to see the light of day again. But on the off chance they do, they serve their time. They're still America's citizen, right? So shouldn't we just allow them to vote? I mean, they did turn time for it. They did their fair time that they were allotted from a jury of their peers.
I don't know. What is a fair time? Like, you kill a kid and it's intentional. Walked up to little Timmy, pulled a gun on him, and shot him in the eye.
For the rest of their life.
Especially
absolutely.
if it's a kid's life.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's up to your peers, a jury of your peers, and a judge in a professional environment. So that's an interesting thought, is that or at least it's up to the courts to decide, what's a fair time allotment. And if they've served their time, no matter how heinous it was, and it was a felony, I mean, they served their time. They're still America's citizen, a citizen of this country.
Yeah.
But a citizen does not mean that you are a person. That is my belief.
I mean, you could put it that way. You don't believe that they have a soul, or you personally could believe that they don't have any right, but they were born and raised in this country. And
yes, but clearly their morals are constricted or construed. So why
their morals are
would you be able
corrupt.
to vote for who's going to literally be the leader of your entire country?
But I mean, their money's
if
going
they
towards
murdered
whatever
a
they vote for,
kid.
and they're still a citizen.
I don't know. That's a tricky one.
It's fucked up, but I mean, that's an interesting thought.
What class of felon should still be able to vote, though? I mean, obviously, I think people that possess, like, felony amounts of drugs, especially with, like, marijuana is the easy go-to example.
Well, I don't think marijuana should exist to begin with. Or I don't think drugs, like going... Yeah, I don't think marijuana should exist to begin with. I don't think drugs should take you to prison to begin with.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, they should, but they do. So
yeah.
I think for, the people like, say, you get 30 years for it because you trafficked 5 pounds of ganja, and then suddenly it's now federally legal to do. I mean, you don't get the time back, and they're not going to pay you back for your, lost time.
No, because it was a crime while that law was enforced.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, like without prohibition, drinking in 1930, you're breaking the law, you fucking dick. 1931, oh, you want to drink? Here, take a shot with Uncle Sam.
That's interesting, yeah. Drinking and driving, you want it at a time it wasn't illegal.
That wasn't even that long ago. That was in the 80s, where it was like generally, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go for a Sunday booze cruise, and
they're taking our freedoms away.
Yeah, I've seen the fucking clips of people that are like, these fucking politicians, all right, next they're gonna be asking to change my goddamn diaper. I get the idea behind, like, yeah, I want my personal freedoms and liberties, and I agree with that. However, as just a net line safety, I don't think you can. I mean, the example I go with, there can be people that are genuinely fine driving while intoxicated, high, or drunk to like a certain point, and they won't cause any accidents, they'll be fine. But as a baseline, the average person, you just can't account for the people that are actually going to do fine. So as a whole, it's just not allowed. I have no issue with that. I think that's completely fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's good that we don't endorse drunk drivers. Drunk
Yeah.
driving.
You know what?
Thank you.
No matter, let's wrap this topic up. I'd say personally though, no matter how your feelings of your country is, at least we have the freedoms to criticize it like we are now.
Yeah,
That is a fair point.
that is a positive outlook.
I don't know. The cynic in me though is just like, that's it. That feels like the bare minimum. I want more.
We can complain about it. We can protest. Yeah.
When was the last time a protest did something? Jason, can you recall the last time a protest like actually enacted a meaningful change?
I mean,
Not saying
the Black Lives Matter protests in Minneapolis and enlightened some interesting investigations in the Minneapolis Police Department.
Yeah, that's true. I think that old police station is still burned down. I want to get a photo of
Well,
it.
a piece of the precinct was closed down, not just the. I mean, they have multiple different departments around Minneapolis, but yes, they did take over a precinct at one point.
What do you guys think of no police? We abolish the police. Is that a good idea? Bad idea?
Bad.
Bad.
I mean, we need it.
Not all police are bad.
Wrong. No.
It's the ones we do.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we get the shitty ones in our area. I don't know why. Well, all right.
I mean, all experiences I have had myself with police have not been good, but I have seen good encounters.
That's fair. You know, I give you props for that, for having all those negative anecdotal evidence and then looking at others and then, you know, seeing that it's not, you know, your experience isn't the whole story. I've had both.
Right.
I've had good experience. I've had bad experience. My personal belief is that power is one hell of a drug.
Absolutely.
I've been to jail a few times and had some really not good encounters just on my own accord. But I do have to say, with each of my interactions with the police, I try to be as respectful as I can, just for the simple fact that, you know, that kid screaming next door because his dad's beating on him or something, you know, it's them police that still show up and take that kid out. So
yeah. I mean, I do it mostly just because, you know, they have the power to do some corrupt shit. I just want them to be happy. Yeah, I want them to be happy with me so they don't do any corrupt shit to me.
Yeah.
You're trying to appease them in case they like make shit
but
to do.
you know, police officers just like humans, there's good ones and there's bad ones, and unfortunately there's more bad stories than there are good stories.
Okay.
But there still are good stories.
I'd say there's more good than bad. I feel like a lot though, as they're more sensationalized. I personally don't have a positive view on America's police system, but
yeah,
I do think that like there are a lot more good officers than there are bad. But yeah,
I watch Audit the Audit. I see all kinds of terrible police officers.
Well, it's kind of like school shootings, right? They sensationalize the killer, but all the victims are, you know, all the victims are just kind of like overshadowed. Like it's the bad people that people want to hear about.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, I haven't like fully in depth like a recent school shooting incident. I haven't like, you hear about it, and me personally, I don't like research fully into like, okay, who is the shooter, who are the victims. Maybe it's shitty of me, but maybe it's, you know, you hear it like 2 or 3 big ones a year. It feels like.
Yeah. I mean, if it's in your area and you're the one who's about to be liquidated, then you learn about it. But
yeah, otherwise it's states away, and it's hard to. I don't know. I mean, like on one hand, I feel like there's the empathy that you get when you see something bad happening to a person that you can physically see, or a shitty situation that you personally know of. And then there's a situation that you hear from fucking CNN, and I feel 2 different emotional responses to that.
I'd feel the same way just because of how live news is treated nowadays. and how just like the constant updates and oversaturation. Like I didn't take COVID seriously at first because like, oh, it's nothing. And it's just like the Zika virus, they're just over sensationalizing it, and then a month later, wham bam, alakazam, it's a global pandemic.
The Zika virus?
No, COVID. What the fuck you mean the Zika? I talked about the Zika virus as an example of them over sensationalizing a virus that wasn't as serious or as dangerous, or
it could have been
as spreadable, contagious.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Contagious.
It could have been the next big thing, but we didn't get that DLC. We got the COVID DLC instead.
Yeah, except it wasn't. It's just not that contagious, and it's mostly just dangerous to people in pregnancy.
But COVID killed all pregnant ladies.
No, I'm talking about Zika. That one. COVID is very contagious. All right.
No, it's not. All right.
Stop playing stupid.
It's so fun though. Yeah, so some of the other, what? I gotta go on a little tangent, and I'll tie it back into a question for each and every one of you. So there's this show that came out like in 2019, and it just had a spin-off show. It's about people that get superpowers, but it's, I'd say, a lot more kind of realistic in like how the average person would react if they had, Superman powers, where they're not a good Samaritan. They're gonna abuse the fuck out of their powers. They're gonna do whatever the hell they want. People that can run as fast as lightning, they're gonna smash into people and combust them. And they're gonna be like, well, I'm kind of better than you because I have superpowers. I shouldn't be held accountable for the damages that I do. Anyway, the question that comes with that, I was gonna ask you guys, if you could have a superpower, what would it be, and how would you actively use it in your life? For an example, the first one that came to my mind was speedster type shit. You can run really fast. Not only would it be very convenient to just like get wherever the hell I want to very quick, but I mean the potential for robberies would be insane. I mean, no one's gonna catch you. You'd be uncatchable. It'd be fucking amazing. You could get whatever you wanted, go wherever you wanted.
I don't know if that would be a good.
It would be good for me. I would enjoy it.
Okay.
I'm no better than the people that like have access to the nuclear power button. Like, it'd be tempting. I would fucking use it.
Inhumanity.
Nice.
All right, I wouldn't like use my superpower to just murder random people, but I would, rob banks, take money, go visit fucking Italy when I want to. It'd be good.
See, I was thinking speed, like the power to just run really fast, just like, oh
But it's
yes,
all
you help the Earth with its.
You're not thinking big enough. All right, all right, Molly.
Yeah.
What superpower would you want? I'm gonna come back to you, Jason.
Yeah.
Jason, you can have one superpower in the world. What is it, and how would you use it, or would you never use it? What would it be?
I mean, I'd definitely use it by the chance. Definitely be probably one of the easiest ones to hide would be slowing down time.
Motherfucker. I told you what would happen if you said that as your fucking superpower.
Hey, personally, I would use it like GTA 5, like Michael and his shooting ability, or like Franklin and his driving ability. About to get into a car accident. All right, quickly get out of that.
But like, all right. So I just want to clarify: is like time itself slowing down, but you can still move freely? Is that what you mean by it?
Yeah, I can like manipulate how fast or slow, or yeah, pretty much just how slow time can go.
Okay, so how would you actively use that in just like a regular day? Like you're not getting into a car.
Day. Well, I mean,
just
considering my job, if I'm qualifying or something on my weapon, then just slow down time, shoot a target.
That's it. Like
make it easy. Other things,
yeah,
obviously, be easier to steal things.
So you would steal?
I mean,
everyone just wants to steal.
Yeah, I would be hesitant the first time, And then, like, as I realize that it's easy, then, I mean, might as well, right? I mean,
Yeah,
nobody
it's
else has this power.
no harm, no foul.
I was given this power for a reason, right?
Okay. Anything else that, like, I suppose, yeah. Just use it
Maybe,
for
like, that scene in Click where, like, he gives him a salad and he just, like, shits in that guy's face and that guy's just like, somebody shit in my salad. You just do kind of shit like that, you know?
All right. That's. I thought you would have gone with something more basic like flight, but that works, I guess.
I mean, flight would be good if I'm, like, jumping out of planes, I guess, but at the same time, I mean, come on.
You can already fly. You can already jump out of. You don't need flight
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
All right,
It's too
Molly.
rare for me to just choose a power around that.
Yeah, that should be plenty of time. Do you have an answer? All right, we'll do with Molly last. Mara and Roger, superpowers. You guys can pick one. How would you use it?
I mean, I would, just because I'd pick strength, just because I could probably control that a lot better, and I could probably conceal it too, so not everybody would notice it.
Yeah.
You'd have that Mr. Incredible body, though.
I don't imagine being all like, mega ripped or anything, but average. I'm already ripped anyways, but it doesn't have to be someone who's like muscly, uber ripped.
Yeah.
I'd look just like your average Joe. I'd just be stronger than the norm.
How would you use it on like a daily basis? Just like make cleaning the house really fucking easy.
It would make my job very easy. I mean,
That is-
I'm a carpenter during the week at Blue Dorn, so I mean, if I had super strength and like high stamina, man, could you imagine the things I could build? It takes roughly four guys, maybe what 6.5 to 8 weeks to build a 2-story apartment complex.
Mhm.
If 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 I was super strong, I mean, I could be lifting a heck of I could we put together a wall, and put wouldn't have to have help 4 other guys to help up on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so you
you
could be like a one-man team.
Yeah,
Everyone else is kind of doing their own thing, and are we going to send you out to do an apartment complex?
oh yeah. I mean, it'd be me and 3 other guys, but that's just for if I go out and do it myself, everybody's gonna know, hey, we got a superhero here or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a superhero. I
You just want to do
You
your
could
job.
challenge.
You just want to make your life
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
See, if I were you, this is the asshole in me speaking. If I had super strength, I'd just challenge like random people that look really strong to an arm wrestle and like break their fucking arm. Like, oh, I thought you were strong.
I didn't know I could do that.
Oh shit, are you okay? I went
Oh
a little
man,
too strong there.
that'd be a practical, full everyday situation.
Yeah.
Mara, how about you? What superpower would you enjoy?
The ability to see into the future or see what is about to happen.
Do you think you would start to hate that power? Like, especially if you know that something bad?
I mean, possibly, but I have like a really big fear of the unknown, and I feel like
Mhm.
that would help me because I would know
Yeah,
and I'd be able to maybe prevent some bad things from happening. Like just basic things, not like,
yeah,
oh, I have cancer in 2 years, not something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
But
I
you
would
think
hate
about
that
it though,
too.
you get bored and then like, am I gonna have cancer at any time in my life? And then like you find out. But
Oh,
I
I
guess you
do.
could like find out how to prevent it if
Like,
it is preventable. But like
Yeah.
knowing when your death is, or I
right,
guess
or
in my
like
case,
knowing you're going to walk out into the street and get hit by a car, you'd be able to stop yourself from walking out into the street at that time.
Even if there was a baby cow crossing the road, would you be able to stop?
Well, I'd stop to
Yeah.
save the baby cow.
That'd be an interesting power. I think there's a joke that College Humor, when they were still funny, what they did is they had a time travel skit where a guy went back to like the 90s to enjoy the 90s and he
Oh
was
yeah.
loving it. And then the time traveler guy told him that, oh yeah, well now that you're in the 90s, you have to prevent 9/11. You
Yeah.
have to. It's a moral responsibility. Otherwise, you're just gonna let like 2,000 people die.
Yeah.
Really?
I remember that. And then he ends up like getting jailed or some shit because he.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it'd be nice to prevent, all the bad shit. I would worry that the
Mhm.
power would consume my life because I know what's about to happen, and I'm the only one that knows. I'm the only one that can actually stop it.
It'd be so nerve-wracking though to be in that situation and wondering what would happen if you were able to go back and change something that big,
Yeah.
because
I
it
mean,
would change so much now. Like you might not even exist after changing that.
yeah. I mean, imagine you could forewarn us. Like imagine you can see 3 years into the future, and you see that America is a nuclear wasteland. Russia got sick of our shit and nuked us. So
Yeah.
Or you
you
could
can't stop.
choose the people not to warn, and then
Yeah,
just smile when you look at them, like, yeah,
you have a good.
yeah, you have a good day.
I know
I mean,
something you know.
yeah.
Just
Whenever like someone's like an asshole to you, you just look at them dead in their eyes. You don't say anything. You just know. That would be
don't let
nice.
that get you on the
Yeah.
way out.
Yeah. I suppose that would be really helpful for like in my case, like, because every person in my situation before they jump, out of a aircraft, they think,
Mhm.
am I gonna die?
You could
How am
just
I
look.
gonna hit the ground? Am I gonna break something? And then if you look into the future, like, like that jump's not gonna go well,
You could
you
just
know?
tell them, yeah, your fear is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you jump refuse, then that's a it's a burden. Like you lose like parts of your pay.
What?
Yeah, I mean I think it's fair because it's a scary thing to do, and you have to create some sort of incentive to do it.
Yeah.
That's true. I
Yes.
suppose.
So
Would
you
you
got to
jump out of a
force them to do it somehow.
Would you
So
jump out of a plane for $75, Mara?
For
it's it's
75?
$150 a month, all right?
Oh, never mind, my bad.
Yeah, it's
So how much
$75 a
is that a
paycheck,
day?
$5 a day about.
No.
You only do it like every 3 months, all right?
No. Not worth it.
I think it's worth it. All right, they're paying me to jump.
Not.
All right,
But what if you knew
Join
the
the
future?
like something else. No. You
they're
make $5 a day. I literally make more than you. That's
yep.
that's
That's how that
terrible.
works. That's how that works. How much do you get? How much do you get a paycheck? All right, I'm about to get
Your
drunk and I'm about to
mom?
tear you apart. How much do you make a paycheck? How much? What's your
I'll be
bonus? How much do you get a year around July? All
no.
right.
How much of that wine have you drank, Jason?
I'm almost done with my bottle of wine. All right.
No, listen. If you make $5 a day and I make $10, wait. Wait a minute. Hold on.
All right, this is horrible. Dude, that's $150 a month. What he's referring to is it's like a dangerous duty pay that you get. That's on top
Yeah.
of my paycheck, which is
I feel like
already
if you are risking your life like that, you should be getting paid a lot more.
they're paying me to jump out of planes. It's fun.
But I mean, I suppose you do
Look,
also choose to do that, so I don't know. Maybe you don't need the
look,
compensation because you chose to do it.
you chose to do
I
it
don't
because of the
know.
compensation. Or at least I did. And it's fun to do. I mean, in the moment. I
But
don't
I
know. I
mean,
mean, look at the failure
even
rate of the T11 and T11R parachutes. I mean, it's very extremely low. So, if you do the
So
right things, you're not stupid about it, and you're getting paid extra on top of your original paycheck. I mean,
it feels like free money if you're comfortable with it. Yeah. Um, So yeah, just to quickly wrap it up, Molly, you should have had plenty of time now. What superpower would you have?
Oh, there's so many that I feel like would be fun, but at the same time, I feel like it would just get annoying to a point where I just despise it.
So what would that power be?
So what would the one I choose be?
Yes.
Teleportation.
How would you?
Or no. Maybe. I don't know, because I feel like it would just get you just get so lazy if you had the power to teleport to the point where you just like, oh, I want to go here. Let me just quick poof.
Yeah, that's
Which-
what teleporting does.
Well,
The hardest
yeah,
thing about that is to conceal it. 'Cause you have to make sure nobody's looking. But if you don't want to conceal it and you just kind of want to do it and just fuck with people, then you know.
just
You could be a
I
super villain.
honestly would have thought you were going to pick being able to read people's minds.
I was debating with that one. I feel like that would be a lot of like fun as long as I could control it. Like
Yeah.
it's not like I just
Mhm.
and the
But I mean, I was more thinking you'd be able to use it to your benefit at work because of
yeah.
how many people lie.
Yeah. It would just be like just so much better as long as, I'd be able to actually just like pick and choose the time I want.
Right. It would suck if you're constantly having to find out what people actually think about you or something
Or just like
and not being able to turn that off.
Yeah.
because there's an episode of a TV show that I really like where Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Mhm.
she gets this thing where it's like she can read into people's minds, like, and she can't like stop it, and she starts going slowly insane, but she overhears someone saying that they're gonna like end everything and kill themselves, and like to overhear something like that would suck to just
So for that one, you could walk up to them and just smile, kind of like the one before. Like, I know what your plans are tonight.
I don't know. Yeah, unless you could turn that
You're
power
like
off.
really creepy about it, you mean?
Yeah, like your death. It's like,
Yeah, you could have
I'll
fun
see
with
you
it.
later. You know.
Imagine the people you could fuck with. Just like, you hear the random person at Walmart that's just like his whole marriage is falling apart,
Yep.
and you can just tell him, yeah, it's going to shit, and you're the reason why. That one would be fun for slight utility, but at the same time, I think I would hate it because I always
If you
worry that like people tolerate me, and their actual thoughts of me are, I just tolerate this person, and to actually have that confirmation, like I can't just take it on good faith that they're not lying to me. I know for sure that they do hate me. I think that'd be an isolating power.
kinda, I mean, it would also be like Click. You know, I'm referencing Click again. I haven't seen the movie in years, but hear me out. All right, if there's this moment where he's like listening to these Japanese guys talk. He doesn't speak the language. Nobody does, but they're openly talking because nobody else speaks Japanese around them, and then they're like saying, "Fuck this idea. Let's go to TGI Fridays." And then he just follows suit with that, and then he gets the deal, and they're good to go. So like, if you can use it in a way like that,
Yeah. I mean, I think
You're-
that's what all of our powers are. You can use them as a good person, or you could be a fucking dick, or worse. Like in that show that I was watching, you could just use your powers and literally do whatever the fuck you want.
yeah.
I mean, the U.S. military stopped me if I can outrun anything they could ever throw at me. I could literally rule the world if I wanted to. What's to stop me?
explode from their blood.
Yeah, that's one of the powers, and you guys should watch it. I mean, I don't want to spend the whole time talking about a show, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's good. I want to watch this now, but I like. Yeah, I like when you were bringing up the advertisement, which we're about to do in a second here. I got the exact feeling from a show that I haven't even watched yet. Like I knew exactly what you're going with, but
Yeah. Oh, I guess yeah. For Mario, since you're not aware what a advertisement is, we get sick of talking, so we play a little like fake. Well, it's a real advertisement.
It's a fake.
It's just to give us a like 3-minute break, just to spice it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
recuperate, think of more ideas,
Run to the bathroom.
yeah, just kind of that stuff. So,
Mhm.
we are like an hour 20 in, so we will be back after this advertisement. Thank you guys for listening, and we will be back with you.
Go to the bathroom! You're shitting yourself! Not yet.
Oblivion Planet.
Have you or a loved one experienced personal loss, family death, or extreme bodily injury at the hands of the supervillains known as Nocam and GymBagBob? Then you or your family may be entitled to compensation. We all remember that day. That day, May 5th, 9th, will forever live on in infamy after what Nocam did to all of those innocent people. On a busy Sunday afternoon in the small town of Huntington, life carried on as normal, but no one knew, rather, who was coming into town that day. The facts are still unclear. What we do know for sure, a local resident walked up to this infamous supervillain, Nocam, and thanked him for his service. After that, Nocam proceeded to rip his head off like a goddamn slice of string cheese and ram a camcorder down his now vacant neck. What was captured on that film is what will be used in a U.S. Grand Attorney trial against him to give him the electric chair he deserves. Many questions are still unanswered about why such a simple, kind comment left a valley of tragedy behind it. But while we gather the information to understand this blatant act of terrorism, we have the resources to financially support you through this tough time. GymBagBob's wanton reign of terror was finally put to rest last week after an anonymous tip led to her location. She was holed up in the stocking area of a Barnes & Noble, stealing granola bars and cookies from the store, as well as stealing books to read while she bid her time away from the authorities. Her senseless act of violence against a local bird zoo was unfathomable. Hundreds of families were present that day, when all of a sudden she jumped over the fence using her incredible bird legs and proceeded to consume all the local birds. The image of a woman chomping down on a seagull's head is forever seared into the minds of everyone that was there that day, including multiple school field trips. After the massacre, multiple eyewitness testimony accounts have been corroborated, and it is believed that she committed this act out of rage and jealousy against the other birds. As she was fleeing the scene, she could be seen and heard lowly chanting, "They all told me of my cages were mental, so I wasted it all like my potential." Please, if you've suffered from these two individuals, reach out. Your testimony is valuable, not only to us, but to the idea of justice itself, to see these two locked away for their crimes against humanity.
And now we return to our hosts. Welcome
Oh.
back. Thanks for listening to our advertisements. I work really hard
Ladies
on those
and-
segments. We work really hard on
Right.
those segments.
Yeah. Credit where credit is due. I wrote the script. I do apologize for my fucking up of some of it.
No, they don't
the next-
notice because my editing is so good. You should listen back to it.
I listened to it. It works.
Yeah, they don't know. It's kind of like plays, you know. As long as they think, as long as they hear it and they don't know that you fucked up. They don't know what your intentions were when you made it. Maybe you intended it to be that way.
That reminds me. I
Don't
don't
admit
think
fault.
you didn't. You never got to see the play, but the last one that I did at our school, the first scene that I had, I think it was our first performance. We got through like the beginning part of our scene fine. We got all the lines correct. We did everything perfect.
Yep.
And then I don't remember if it was me who fucked up or them who fucked up, but I remember we shared a look and I think I'm gonna assume they fucked up. They didn't know what to do. So you just both kind of shared that look on stage of, oh, we're live and I don't know what the fuck to do. So, just somehow pulling improv out of our ass and then skipping a couple of things but getting back on track. That's I don't know. Theater is fun. It's interesting when you don't have to do a scene with your
Yeah,
it adds awkwardness of the scene though. It was good.
it's good.
No, I suppose for context, GymBagBob and I were not together at the time, and we had a very, I guess, how would you describe that scene? It's just like,
It is literally leading up to them going inside and having sex.
yeah. So that was a fun thing to convey.
In the
awkward-
school play?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole
What?
I think we didn't do it how it was written, but the end of the scene is supposed to have us like walk into a makeshift cabin and we toss our actually no.
No, we tossed clothes over our
Yeah.
Oh my god.
big house. The original thing is us taking off the snowmobile clothing layers
Yeah.
on the stage.
Yeah, we didn't do that part. We just opted to throw the clothes over the stage over the cabin.
Is it appropriate?
Yeah.
I think for the school performance, no, he wasn't my roommate at the time. One of my friends, he had a great improvisation suggestion for one of the lines. The original line is something about fuck, what was it?
Can take all night.
Yeah,
Maybe even longer.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is take all night, haha, we're gonna have sex forever type thing. And my roommate said that during the school play, I should say, nah, it'll probably last a couple of minutes. And yeah, that's my funny story about school plays.
Did anyone laugh?
No, they were laughing about something beforehand, so they didn't even fucking hear my new line. And I think the
Right.
director missed if he heard me say it.
Dead raccoon in the middle of the road.
What? The play was Our Town, for
No.
anyone curious.
What?
Almost Maine.
Almost made for you guys. They laughed for your line in our town. All thanks to
Yeah.
me because I was up there too. So
Yeah, all thanks to you.
Yep.
Mara, were you ever... Alright, don't take this the wrong way, but you look like a theater kid. Were you a theater kid?
I mean, ish.
What do you mean by ish?
I like musicals and I was in one musical myself, but I haven't done anything with that.
did you sing? What was your part in it?
What?
What was your part in the musical?
It was the Wizard of Oz. I think I don't remember what I was.
You don't
Was it-
remember what you were?
No, cause I had some like made up role. It was
Oh.
like I had to wear like a sparkly green dress thing, and they painted like dollar signs on our cheeks.
Oh no, you weren't the main character. You're a side character.
Yeah,
It's horrible. I'm sorry to hear that.
I
I'm
did
proud
not
to say
want the main part. My anxiety was way too bad.
the first and only time I've ever done a play, I was the main character. All right.
You were
I
not...
wouldn't want
Yeah,
that.
the narrator is not the main character in Our Town. It's George Gibbs. All right.
No, it's not.
I'll die. No, I'll
The
die.
narrator
I'll
is
stand
also
on that.
character.
I'll stand on that hill until I die. All right. It's George Gibbs. He's the main character. It literally follows his life. The narrator is just there to talk. All right. It's just lazy writing from whoever wrote it. All right.
The narrator has the most is the biggest
just because they have the most lines doesn't mean that they're the main character.
All right, we get it. That's your contention.
Your wife. She should have been a main. She is also a main character.
What is that? Why would you sound Ross? What is that supposed to be me? What is this?
Just answer the question.
All right, what's the question?
Your wife in the play. I don't remember one of the nicknames we gave her. Wouldn't she also be a main character?
Emily Gibb or Emily Webbs?
I mean, she did turn into Gibbs.
Gibbs. She did turn into Gibbs later on. Because I rizzed her up, but
Never say.
I rizzed her up by talking about agricultural school at an ice cream shop.
All it takes to be a rizzer.
Yeah.
The
the Rizzler of the early 1900s.
I'll start calling you. That should be your new name. That Nocam. The Rizzer.
No.
Once you bring on a new guest, whenever that is, Jason, I'm just going to refer to you as Mr. Rizzler for the entire.
It just reminds me of Twizzler, and you're calling me a fat ass. What a Twizzler! Fuck you. So yeah, I mean, I think plays are fun. I wish I did more. I only did one.
Yeah.
I started the group.
I also started the group.
Yeah, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. if you're in what is it? It's in Kill Yourselves. If you're this is even you should put in opinions so everyone knows what you're talking about. Nobody he keeps mocking me in GIFs, alright?
Actually, that's a good question. Mara, how do you pronounce it? GIFs or GIFs?
GIF.
Alright.
That's how the creator intended. GIF.
Hey, Jason.
The peanut butter.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
What's the shape of Italy?
Soccer.
Interesting. Yeah. It's been a very boring week. I don't have any. The most exciting thing that happened is a group chat that I'm a part of. It finally splintered off into a smaller, less annoying group chat, and I'm glad to be a part of the less annoying group chat.
Nice.
It was pretty last night.
All right. The notification door left on. I was gonna climb a tall structure in town, but the person.
I was gonna ask about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get back to me until 9:05, and it was Betty Bye time by then.
Did they say yes?
Yeah, they were gonna climb it with me. I'm still gonna before winter hits.
Okay.
Take some. It can be the backdrop.
Yeah.
It can be meme of the week.
Nice. We could put that for the picture for the next Opinion Planet.
I actually want to check what the current one is. Shit.
It's on our next topic, actually.
Which is
Down Bad Men.
Down Bad Men.
Why don't you read the meme of the week?
I can't open Twitch without there being audio playing. Give me a second.
You can click mute site.
I don't know where that button is. Wait.
You just right click the tab and then.
Found it. All right. Yeah, I'm a simp. Remember to wash your hands, guys. That's the meme of the week.
Yep, it's a COVID meme.
Workers' rights sniper Wolfenstein. All right.
You still haven't.
Some of them I changed. Some of them I just whatever. You know.
So Down Bad Men. Do you want to? Have you seen a recent example? Anyone?
Do I want to start it?
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't have any recent examples of it. I mean, there's some people who are trying to get in the nitty gritties of people who are in leadership positions, and legally they're not supposed to, but humans are humans. Down bad men, as in people who pay for services to see boobies, essentially, when they could just look it up on Google Images, kind of thing. Or
I think
people who, I guess it goes back to one of our original topics, which is like simps, just like people who are obsessed with a certain individual just because they are of the opposite gender. And they try to be like the white knight kind of thing. Stop posting in this group chat. This doesn't make any sense.
I think it's a very lonely individual. I mean, I can't imagine that person is, has a group of friends or even just a single person. Well, all right, they might have a group of friends, they might have a person to talk to, but it's still a very lonely individual. Um, I think like the root cause is, everyone wants human connection, and going without it is like one of the worst things that you can do to a person is just solitary isolation.
Yeah, we're a social species. Even people who say that they're what is it called when they don't want to talk to people?
Antisocial.
Yeah, not antisocial. They're introverts.
Yeah, introverts. I mean, the people that like I think, you there are introverted people and extroverted people, but an introvert is not someone that likes to just shut away from all people. That person does not exist. At least I have a hard time believing they do, and if they do act like that, it's unhealthy.
Yeah. Maybe there are some thresholds of it. Maybe there's people who actually, have like a certain amount of time, and then like, all right, this is enough. Time to go home. All
Yeah,
right.
no,
Or maybe
I
that's
get
just like an unhealthy. Maybe it's like a kind of disability of a sense of like, all right, I'm exhausted of people now. Or maybe I think the realist answer there is you're hanging around the wrong people. I think honestly, I think that is like probably the answer there is that you're hanging around the wrong people if you feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, I can cite two different examples, like a group of people. One group of people, it's just not fun to be around at all, and it's just fucking boring, and I'd just rather be home. And then there's other groups where it's, all right, yeah, I'm having fun. This is nice. I enjoy this shit. But I mean, even for that group of people where it is really nice, I mean,
You
I
can
don't want
only
to hang.
you can only handle it for so long, or you got other things to do.
Yeah, I mean, even when you were back in town, I mean, yeah, I had to send you home a couple of like the end of the day, like, all right, go home, fuck off. I want to do my own shit. You're not my dad. Go away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember that. Unless maybe I reached the same threshold. It was just kind of like uh we both met the same fate and like, all right, this is dying out. You both
Yeah.
just fuck off.
Are there do you have a group of people that like you're always just fine to be around with for the most part in your current line of employment?
The people I work with are interesting. A little too interesting, so I don't really mind. Like sometimes like our leadership will just say, all right, yeah, you can go home. You're good to go. And it's like, it's like 3:00. And then every once in a while, we'll just stay. We'll just play poker. And then whenever we just get bored, we just, all right, I'm going to go home now.
Do you ever Irish goodbye? Do you know what that is?
What is it? Curious.
So like say you're at a party and you're just you're just done, so you just leave without saying goodbye at all.
That's what I do when I leave my job. Just kind of dip. Like no matter how or like what kind of relationships I've formed or people I've talked to, I just kind of disappear.
Well, yeah, I mean, almost literally every single job, I've never fully put in a 2 weeks notice without just like leaving beforehand.
Yeah.
The only job that got like a good send off was McDonald's, and I had like a whole fucking celebration of like, all right, yeah, it's my final day. Please, as many people, come enjoy.
Yeah.
And then you got
Yeah, now I'm banned.
I mean, you have you had some good coworkers, I'm assuming. You had some good
Yeah.
experiences.
The
The jobs I've worked, most of the time, I'm like one of their best workers just because I do their job or do the job. Nothing less, nothing more. Because there's a lot of shitty people around me. So there's not a lot of people I can connect with.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, the only job that I've actually made any friends from is still my first job at fucking McDonald's, which is, I think part of it is, I mean, the age of people you guys work with. I mean, Mara and you, Molly, I mean, you guys are friends, you met through your job, but, how many people your age, similar interests, similar, just where you are in life, you guys don't have that. It's all fucking old, retired, bitchy ass ladies.
Well, I mean, Mara and I didn't actually meet through our job. We met through.
Jason's ex, yeah. You guys
Well,
you guys wouldn't have become friends without, seeing each other every day and finally deciding, all right, maybe I should talk to her. Maybe I should
Right.
give her the cold shoulder. Maybe I shouldn't fucking punch her. I don't know what the fuck you guys are. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you guys, I doubt that's going to happen with one of the older people. Like, you got, all right, yeah, let's hang out. Let's come on a podcast together.
yeah.
I mean, there was one person from Udoba when I was working there for 3 months. Hung out with him a couple of times. And there's just some people in life you can realize, yeah, I could be acquaintances with them at best, but I just know I'm not going to be friends. I don't,
Mhm.
or maybe I'm just the one that's like not giving it an opportunity, but
I'm able to tell off the bat. Well, yeah, for the most part. I only say for the most part because that white supremacist dude. It's kind of interesting.
Are you
Yeah.
friends with him now?
He's growing on me, but no, I don't like his beliefs. Don't get me wrong. I disagree with him, but he's I'm starting to see how ironic he is. So
he's got
most of the time he's joking, but yeah, I think
when it's about
90% of the time he's joking, but that 10%, like, I don't agree with it. But yeah, I mean, he called me like at 12 o'clock, like on Thursday night, because he wanted me to come down and shoot my shit with them. So,
nice.
but I mean, my problem is that I woke up from that phone call because I passed out drunk. So, as you can
That's
tell, I'm
good.
having a great time down here.
Yeah, you gotta make,
Constantly drunk.
yeah.
I am. I just finished my bottle of wine, and I have an extra dry gin in front of me right now. So I'm just gonna take a couple swigs of that.
I think alcohol is a bad way to pass your life away.
Oh,
I
it's
mean, any
horrible,
drug.
especially before your brain's developed.
Yeah, but like it's legal now at least, so for you.
It's legal. I'm also crossfading with caffeine, so I could literally remember that guy from Empire Strikes Back who said that I could take on, or I think it was episode 4, I could take on the Empire right now by myself. That's me. All right, I could take on ISIS by myself right now.
You could take on Hamas and you'd win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think anyone could say that.
That's good you're making friends at least. I mean, it's a need.
Yeah, I mean, I just helped someone build a PC today. And the only reason I left is because I had to pick up my coffee maker and do a podcast. So
You should have told them, like, if you don't join the podcast at least once, I'm gonna install some fucking malware on incorrect.
I'm not inclined to tell my coworkers about the podcast yet because I don't feel like getting made fun of it yet. But I will in time. It'll come. The time will come.
Speaking of telling coworkers about the podcast, can we start putting flyers up at your guys' thrift location about the podcast?
I'm just imagining like having an OPP flyer at the bulletin board by the liquor store.
Yeah.
Where it's like dog for sale, cat for sale, this event's
Podcast.
going on.
Podcast tonight. Yeah.
OPP.
That would go as
No,
well
because
as
I don't want like none of you except Molly are gonna know who this is, but the USA hat guy.
Oh,
Imagine he like comes in one day and is like he brings up something that we talked about on the podcast.
Oh.
who's the
And
USA
like
hat guy?
suspicious information on us. It'd be so creepy and weird.
Enlighten us and the viewers what the USA hat guy is.
He's an older guy that is that says very inappropriate comments. I don't remember if I told you this, but he's the one that said, "Don't you know you're supposed to run and say yes, master?" after ringing the bell.
I forgot about that guy. Yep.
That's the one.
So this is why you guys are in an interesting position. Like, why don't you just fuck with people? At that point.
Because you're a professional worker and you're not allowed to I mean, the most unprofessional I ever got with a customer was I told them to have a nice fucking day.
What's the context?
Alright, this cunt. Alright, so full context. It's like 11:30 at McDonald's. We close in 30 minutes. Things are slow. Our fries, they have a 7-minute holding time. That means once they come up out of the fryer, we can hold them for 7 minutes before they turn bad and we have to toss them. Anything within that 7 minutes, though, is fair game. So this guy comes, orders his shit. These fries are 3 to 4 minutes old. They are not like boiling hot, but they are not disgusting either. Give the guy his fries. He starts eating on them while we get the rest of his order. He eats like a small handful. Get the rest of his food. Close the window. Think it's all done. He knocks on the window. Hey, can I get some barbecue sauce? Yeah, of course, no problem. Give him the sauce. Close the window. Knock again. Hey, can I get some sweet and sour sauce? All right, yeah, sure. Maybe you just forgot to ask for like all the sauces you wanted the first time. Third knock. Hey, can I get fucking honey mustard sauce? At that point, all right, yeah. Anything else? What else can I get you, sir? Can I help you? And then he started asking me, so why are you serving us cold fries? Like, why are you doing this? Are they supposed to be fresh? And started off pretty, calm, like, all right, yeah, they are, they have a 7-minute holding time. Serve them to you. If you want, I can, remake them for you. I mean, you ate half of them already, but fuck it, it's not my fries. I'm not losing money for it. But then he just goes on, just about being pissy about the fact that we gave him not hot fries. And it just, I wish I remembered it more word for word, but he just keeps on bitching, and I get sick of it, and just tell him, all right, you know what, no. You can enjoy the fries you have, I'm not giving you shit. As I'm walking away from the window, have a good fucking night. So he immediately stops his car, and again starts, like, yelling. One of the other employees, like starts talking to him instead of me to just kind of calm him down and apologize on my behalf.
Calm him down for what? What is he gonna do?
He didn't do well. So what he did do is, the day after we had a manager meeting, and our GM was there, and a couple other night shift managers, and the meeting is going, and then the store gets a phone call. It gets handed to the GM because they asked for the person in charge. And as she's taking the phone call, she writes on a napkin, "Have a nice fucking night," and slides it to me. And just gives me a look.
Did you just laugh on the spot?
I should have. I mean, I explained my position. I know it was unprofessional. This guy was a cunt, but I mean, obviously that doesn't mean shit to, it's always the customers within reason.
Customer satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, our GM I've seen it before. She told people straight to their face, "Get the fuck out of my drive-through," so it's okay for her to do it. And when that person pisses her off, but it's not her that got pissed off, so I'm in the wrong. But
well, then just say that. Did you say that?
I should have, but no.
It's
I
bullshit.
did.
Then that's double standards.
I was 18. All right, I didn't have the confidence yet to yell back at her.
Yeah, that's fair.
But no, I mean that's The only other time, like with my job, at a customer's house to install a bunch of equipment, I'm just slow. So like by the time I get all the equipment ready to set up, I've already been at their house for about 4 hours. It was a pain. Or I can go into the nitty gritty, but to sum it up, was there for a lot longer than I meant to be. Um, I'm able to get their internet working and their main TV working. That's all good. The other two TVs are not working. One of them, I suspect, because the coax line that feeds it signal so it can get the cable channels and shit, that cable is compromised. So if I want to get that box working, I need to run a new cable entirely. And the other one just was not connecting for whatever reason. It was already like 5:40, 6 o'clock, somewhere there, and I just wanted to be done for the day. So I just told him, yeah, they're gonna have to replace that line. Have an electrician come and do it. Are you fucking serious? You guys put this in here. I mean, I pay for the services. It should be done in a day. Yada yada. On one hand, I get him completely. I mean, you want the shit to be done first day, but at the same time, I personally, I just didn't. I didn't have time for it. I wanted to go home and not be at work anymore. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Selfishly, of course, I'm right, but if the guy wasn't as much of a fuck ass about it,
Is that the same person that put like do not send?
yeah. So the funny story with that, so they had because I set stuff up incorrectly, a technician had to come back out there to fix it. In the comments about that specific location, they said do not send tech number 3433, which is my tech number. Do not send him.
Fucking amazing.
That's great. That's the only person that I've gotten that does not want to see me. I'm usually pretty great with people, but
Yeah.
yeah, not him. It
I
was
love
just
that. I would feel so proud of myself if
Proud of yourself?
yeah, if like the company was making sure not to take me to a certain location. Do not send this person. All right.
it was good. I took a photo of it, so I have it as like my
It's a plaque of honor.
my badge of honor. I finally got a customer that
Yeah.
doesn't fucking like me.
I love that. But that's good. I mean, I think most people should be put in check. We should bully more people. All right. A lot
I
of
would hate
people.
kind of like that, where it's like you have to work until it's like you're done with it.
I understand it, but at the same time, it's so fucking annoying when you want a life outside of work and not just limited to 2 days of the week. You want to get home at a reasonable time when you're supposed to be done, but because of things that aren't in your control, it doesn't work like that. And
Yeah, I mean that's a retold story a lot, especially with like construction workers. They
yeah,
kind of they work long hours. I think what is it, Roger? I think he could like kind of relate to that idea of you kind of work until you're done.
yeah,
Or when I did UFC, we kind of like stopped at a certain point, but sometimes we'd go overtime.
yeah. I
But
think the latest I ever had to stay with UFC was we were at a job site until like 7:05 or something, and then just fuck it, we'll come back another time to finish this shit up.
yeah, but I mean you got overtime, so
Well, yeah. I mean, I would have. It's not like they're not going to pay me if I. It's not like they're not going to pay me if I'm staying late. They do pay overtime and shit, but
yeah,
that part of me that just wants to be home and done with this shit is more strong than the desire to stay longer.
that's fair. Especially when you're working salary and you're not getting incentivized for staying longer.
No,
You're just
it's all right. That company, MediaCom, it is hourly.
okay. Well, I
So
mean that's good then. Like, I mean, there's a lot of cases where like I might have to work later or do some dumb shit. Most of the time, you don't. Most of the time, it's like 3 o'clock. You get off. You have good leadership,
mhm,
which I happen to have good leadership. So
that's good. I don't know. All right. I mean, part of me is envious of both you, Mara, and Molly for the fact that like you guys are done at 4. No ifs about it. You're
no,
done.
I'm done at 3.
No, that's not
No?
true for us though.
That's not?
No.
It's kind of more of a, if there's still people in the store at 4, you can try and hurry them along, but you can't
Kick them out?
you can't kick them out now.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah,
that's the same
Making
thing with any
sure.
other job, right? I mean, if you're working with customer service, you can't just
no.
"Hey, get the
I
fuck out of here. You're
as a
done.
manager,
Come
like
back
I would
tomorrow." You know.
yeah, I closed the store 2 minutes early, and people would come through drive-through, and we just wouldn't take their call. Nope, bye. We're done.
We lock the door like 5 minutes before we close.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's ever already in there, yeah, they can keep shopping, get their stuff. But if you're trying to come in when you have like 3 minutes until we close,
No.
Dude,
no, thank you.
that's nice because at Burger King we wouldn't close until like the time. So like if you if you get in at fucking I don't remember when we closed. Like
Probably
8.
11 or 12.
Yeah, like 11. Like if you get in at fucking 10:59, you get in at 10:59 and then we close it right after that.
The lobby even? Like, they can just stay there until they please?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they never really sent us or like there'd be like a homeless guy just sleeping on the bench or something. You might just have to like, "Hey man, we close at 11."
I'm sorry. I can
Yeah.
give you yeah, that's
That
fair.
sucks. How did that small ass town have homeless people? That's horrible.
I don't know.
Man, this country's great.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
They're
then they just talk about them on Facebook groups, like some notorious homeless guy of Hutch,
Huntington.
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
But no,
I
it is my last week, so I have 4 days to be able to tell customers like, "Oh, it's 5 o'clock. This is my go time. Bye."
that's good.
Probably shouldn't do that.
We'll see.
Why not? I mean, he already has a job. He already has another job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he already has OPP, and I'm the
Yeah.
boss of that. So
Yeah. See, that's the toxic thought. Going back, I've never fully put in a 2 weeks notice for any job and successfully completed it. The closest I've done was when I was working at a coffee shop. I had 2 days left, and I just kind of ghosted my manager and instead worked on the remaining assignments I needed to do to finally fucking graduate from high school.
that's kind of funny, but it's also like it's good. I mean, if that's what motivated you to get done with high school, then so be it.
Yeah, it was useful. I mean, all the other times though, it was just like there were certain you know what, fuck it, let's go bit by bit, example by example. McDonald's, I was sick of it. I had another job lined up, quit. Worked 2 days retail. Actually, not even. I worked a day and a half of retail and lost my fucking mind, so I quit the next day.
Yeah.
I then found that coffee shop job. Worked there for like 3 months. Found a better job through our he who shall not be named.
That's
Same thing.
amazing. Elias.
Yeah.
Elias.
So I quit the coffee shop to join that manufacturing place, and then as soon as I got that job lined up at UFC, I just walked out in the middle of lunch and bought Elden Ring and enjoyed a 2 week vacation. What else? UFC, I wasn't expecting to get fired, but I got fired and then found post office job.
But
Post
you
office, I
walked
got
out in the middle of lunch and just played Elden Ring, and then you didn't expect to get fired after that.
No. This was right. Fuck it. This was right way. I like
Oh,
had the
okay.
phone like I think the Monday, and then I knew for sure that I had another job lined up. So then like yeah, the same day, just middle of lunch, like I mean, what do I value more? The 2 weeks of money that I get from working here, or just going home and enjoying a 2 week vacation? I have money. Why the fuck not?
Yeah. Plus, you have a roommate that has a lot of
Yeah,
savings. So
cheaper rent as well. Yeah.
yeah.
But no, then yeah, UFC got fired unexpectedly. Found a job within a month, post office. Got sick of that job after like 6 months because I fucking hated waking up at 3 a.m. So just kind of didn't
And
show
then
up.
just working until you were able to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't wake up until like 5:40 on a
I
normal
could do.
day.
I don't like. I mean, I already wake up at 6 for the most part. I don't like 5:40, but I could do that. But 3 a.m. every fucking day, 6 days of the week, fuck that.
Yeah, I mean 5:40 you have to make sure to shave and then brush your teeth. I mean, brush your teeth I guess is optional if you're disgusting, but I mean just make sure to shave so
Yeah.
you don't get in trouble.
I think my favorite one though. So after quitting the post office, fucked around for like a month, found another job, Qdoba, and then worked there for about 3 months. And the I was always in the back, like either cooking the meat or doing dishes. And it was just a busy fucking day, so there was a massive dish pile, and it was just I could quit right now and find another job that would be paying me a fucking quarter more, and it would be better. So I just kind of walked out.
Yeah.
It was a very spur of the moment, fuck it. But I mean,
Right.
it worked after well, like the 2 or 3 weeks it took to find a new job. For the most part, I mean, I kind of don't like my current job, but this one's I just have to make it 4 days. Just have to do 4 days this week, and then that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my
I mean
job.
congratulations cuz you got a better job. I mean at least the idea of it sounds better. So,
Yeah, the pay is significantly better, so that will make it worth it for the most part. I mean,
yeah.
we'll see what it's like once I'm doing it, but
I have been at the same job for
You
so
can't
long.
even complain about that, all right? I mean
I
we've
know.
been trying to
I'm
convince you.
no, I'm just like thinking of like how many jobs like
could have worked.
if I followed the same like a few months here, leave a few months at another place.
You know what? You'd have more money.
To 6 years I have spent at this company.
You'd
And
have more money.
yeah,
Ollie, you
I
should
mean,
join the National Guard.
it's good that you're able to like stick it through rough and rough when shit gets fucking annoying without like having good pay incentive. I guess that's admirable.
I don't think so.
To some extent it is, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, it
I
couldn't
guess
be me.
I mean it represents loyalty, but I wouldn't say admiralty because come on, respect yourself. Like, what is your time worth? You know,
That's true.
No.
especially like being an assistant manager for 6 years.
I haven't been an assistant manager for 6 years.
All right, how long have you been assistant manager for?
2?
2. Still, what was the pay incentive for that?
Quarter?
Well,
Like $1.
I was making whatever minimum wage was 2 years ago, and then
I think it was
That's horrible. That's
$8.59.
horrible.
it got bumped up to like $12. So
It's horrible.
I mean,
Stop
Also,
it.
it was
Stop justifying it.
full-time job right out of high school. Like,
I'll say if you had that pay in like 2017, 2018, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Get a new
That's
job.
fucking
Get a new job. Get a new job. Right?
That's crazy. 5 years ago, $12 an hour was like pretty fucking good. Like, who started you off at that? That was good.
Yeah.
Well, okay, at least as like my kid perception of it.
I think most of it is just after COVID because we had this really big spike of inflation after that.
Yeah.
Because of
Supply chain and everything goes up in price, so we pass it down to you. But we make more money than ever.
yeah. Speaking of which, sorry, we are horrible at hosting guests, so I feel like you haven't talked in a while. But, Mara, are you jealous of homeless people?
What?
Are you jealous of homeless people? I mean, they come on. I mean, they don't have to have jobs. They're free as a bee. They're like the cowboys. They're like the Wild West of modern day. They can do whatever they want, and people like you and I are tethered to a job.
No. Yeah. Did you hear Roger?
What was that?
Did you hear Roger?
No. What did he say?
You'd be free without luxury.
But you're free nonetheless.
Yeah,
like,
but
you
like,
can start your own
are you
homeless
really?
posse. You know, start your own
Sure.
gang.
do you want your own homeless posse, Jason? Would you
Yes.
thrive in that environment?
I mean, the government would see us as homeless, but home is wherever you go with your posse. All right.
Home is where your heart is.
Yeah.
Jason, I got a hypothetical for you. I'm gonna put you back in this town, and you have no vehicle, you have no housing of any kind, and you have no friends. But you have to stay within the confines of this town. Like, you physically cannot leave.
Okay.
What's your plan? Like, where are you gonna sleep?
Probably somewhere that has like somewhat of a shelter, but it can't be like the middle of a playground because I'm male, so it look creepy. Maybe like the gazebo when I can at the library.
Yeah, I've seen a homeless.
Maybe under the tunnel, but that's pretty close to the playground. I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe
night,
I probably just buy a tent and go right next to the Best Buy, but the Best Buy isn't there anymore, so there's no incentive to be there.
you're homeless. You don't have money to go buy a tent, so you don't
I
have a
mean,
job.
some homeless people have tents.
All right, well, you're not that luxurious of a
Steal
homeless person. You don't have a.
steal someone's
You
social
haven't
security number and get a credit card.
You haven't earned your stripes yet as a homeless veteran. All right.
All right.
So what are you gonna do for food?
What am I gonna do for food?
Yeah.
Probably fish. Hunt.
You don't have money. You don't have money. You're in Huntington. You don't have money for a fishing pole, and what's there to hunt?
A deer.
How are you gonna kill the deer?
Hunt it with my bare hands.
Alright.
I just take I find a rock and then I'd sharpen it and then I'd hunt it. Yeah, something simple like that.
Can fall out of the sky and land on it.
Yeah, I'd climb on top of a tree and then once they're under me, I'd just hop down like a horse and then just stab their neck. Yeah.
Would you live your life as if you were in the Hunger Games?
Yeah, I would if I could. That's amazing. I would live stream all that shit too.
So like no mention of a homeless posse though. I don't know, Jason.
Oh, that's right. I mean, I'd start striking up. Like I'd start collecting members. Like, hey, you homeless? Yeah. All right, come with me.
That sounds like a bad fucking.
I've got a job for you.
I'm just reminded of a scene from another show you guys haven't watched where this really rich guy, he gives money to the homeless people, and that's great. The only caveat is that he gets to beat the fuck out of you for like 3 minutes, and you can't do anything about it. But you get $500.
3 minutes is a long ass time when you're getting beat the shit out of. I don't know.
$500.
I mean, you're desperate, so yeah, you'd obviously take it, but holy shit, that's a long ass time. So yeah, I mean, in the end, are we jealous of homeless people?
No.
Why not? I haven't convinced you yet. You can literally climb on a tree
either
and
way, you aren't allowed to be homeless. If a police officer sees you sleeping on a bench, they're gonna tell you to move. You can't be there.
yeah, but they're
To
free
be on
from
land,
society.
you have to buy it.
They're separate from society. They're free. They're freer than us.
But they're not, because if they're caught on any land, they have to have bought it or they're trespassing. You can't be homeless.
Yeah.
All right, so my next thoughts on the agenda is what's your thoughts on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
No comment.
No comment on the conflict?
Yep.
You personally don't have any beliefs about it?
Just don't want to talk about it.
Okay. That's fine. All fair. All fair. I scouted your social media and you have some very strong opinions on scientific racism. Would you like to enlighten us about that?
What do you mean? What?
You were talking about how white people are superior to black people because of their skin color and where they're born and raised and how they live in society. So I was just curious about that.
Are you sure you weren't scrolling through the white supremacists Instagram?
Because what? Whose profile did you look on?
I was gonna say, was it on one of Mara's profiles that you were looking on, or
No.
Jason?
Let's hear it for the H3 podcast. Let's give a round of applause to the H3 podcast.
What's happening right now, Jason?
What?
Are you like really drunk right now? This is.
Are you having a? Were you at the level that I was at for Halloween?
Are you at the level of
Go to
cold?
bed. The level of go to bed.
I think we should give it to all of the murderers out there. I think if we had the confidence they did, the world would be a better place.
What about the murderers though? That all right. Well, there are serial killers. All right. There's the people that like have a
Aren't you related to someone that killed someone?
Yeah. Let's not bring that into here. I think that's a little different. All right.
It may narrow it. What do you mean it's different? He killed someone.
Unimportant. Would the world be a different place if they had not embarked on such adventure?
I don't think it would be that different. Do you think you could be a murderer, Jason? Like, have you thought about it, like, in depth?
I couldn't. I mean, it's not worth it, obviously.
You don't think you could get away?
Get away with it?
Yeah. Do you think you could?
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is just, like, murder someone cold blood in the middle of the street and just walk into a Walmart and act like you didn't do anything. Buy some tater tots, I don't know, something normal, and then...
Yeah, establish an alibi.
Yeah. What are you on about, officer? Let's buy some tater tots from the tater tot casserole.
What do you think it would take for, like, okay. I gotta think of how to phrase this question for all of you. So, the situation, you're just going into a grocery store and a stranger starts, first of all, verbally harassing you specifically, and they won't let up. And then they start, like, physically approaching you and start, like, pushing you. Not outright attacking you, but they're being physically aggressive. Like, what point do you start either fighting back, drawing attention to it, or just start, like, you take the first punch and just, quiet them down personally?
Wait, am I supposed to defend said person?
No, this is you. You walk into a store.
You're the one being harassed.
Yeah, they start off by, like, calling you a fat fuck, and then they start walking toward you and pushing you. Do you just, like, swing first? Do you
Well, technically,
what do you do?
They start pushing. They put their hands on me.
Yeah.
So if you put your hands on me, damn right, we're gonna have some fun.
Fair enough.
Would you be okay with the legal burden of
Male.
assist suicide if you were to embark on such action?
What?
Would you be okay with going to jail for assisting somebody with their suicide? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
What?
they put your
That
hands
makes no
on you.
sense. Why would
You put your
anybody
hand.
be
They put
okay
your
with
hands on you.
that?
They kind of like they saw your stature. They saw who you are. They're just kind of like, all right, well, I have to kill myself now because they saw how
What?
strong you are.
What?
They already know that their life is over if they've already touched you. I mean, if you're like me, of course.
I mean, I guess at
Well, they'd just be expecting that.
Before you touch me, you got to read this and sign, okay?
All right, Jason. I want to ask you specifically the same question.
Okay.
You know, you walk into a store, they single you out.
Well, I'd be very intrigued because I am not as much of a fat ass as the average American, so I would probably ask the same thing of them.
What do you mean?
What?
No, like they don't call you out for being fat. They just start like saying I don't know what the fuck to you, just random shit to deliberately like agitate and piss you off. Like, hey, dumb fuck, I'm talking to you. What the fuck do you think you're doing here? This is my store. And they start
Have you
walking.
seen that video of like these Americans in like Europe, and then there's just one guy who's like aggravating them the whole time, and they're just ignoring them. They just keep walking. I'd probably just do that. But
like, all right, what if they put their hands on you? Like, what if they push you?
They put their hands on me. Nothing. No, I'm a pacifist. Oh, I wouldn't do anything. I just keep walking. I think anyone who says that they'd put their hands on them, as in they're defending themselves, should be locked up for life.
You're playing a bit early into the devil's advocate.
No, obviously I'd pull out a knife and then I'd stab them like multiple times. Like, you know that Breaking Bad scene where like they got into the prison and they're like killing someone actively with a knife. You know how fast they're like stabbing them with a knife? I would just do that.
I want to go into Walmart with you and like pay some guy to like, hey, he's my friend. Just work with him a little bit.
Life is over.
I got.
They didn't even start their question. I just start stabbing. Just
2026, it'll be good.
Yep, 2026, guys. I get to join my grandpa in hell.
The family photo.
Yep, the family photos in hell.
That'd be good. I'll pay some guy. I'll spike your drink with LSD. So like by the time we get to Walmart, you're really starting to like feel really fucking weird.
Right before we walk in, you start shaking me like nightmare, 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 and then we walk in, and then you pay the guy to do that. I think he's like a dangerous goblin, and then I just start stabbing him as fast as I can just to get the threat out of there. It's like I'm saving everyone's life, all right? And then the police show up, and I get confused.
It's okay. You'll be out on bail. Only $7 million.
Yeah, I'd pay bail. OPP successful at that point.
Be good media coverage for the podcast.
Right.
It's a PR stunt.
So Mara, how would you handle that PR stunt if you said something maybe slightly questionable to a customer just stabbing you repeatedly?
What?
You're like saying, do you need any help with finding anything? You've been in here for an hour and a half. We've been closed for 3 hours now. Please, can you get the fuck out of here? And then they just start stabbing you like repeatedly. What do you do?
Die?
I mean, hopefully I grab the pepper spray before going up to them.
I think we should put a gun in your thrift store.
I'm good.
Yeah, like those fire extinguishers. Break glass just in case. You just have a gun. You just have a Glock in there. That's nice.
I mean, hey, it works in schools. It'll work in the thrift store, right?
Yeah.
The guy that works in the building right next to us has a gun.
He does?
Yeah.
Too bad he can't use it.
I mean, the liquor store I kind of get. I mean, From how it sounds like how you guys have, I mean, I'm sure it's not the majority of customers, but there's been more than, one time where there's just some weird fucking guy who just says some shit
Yeah.
completely fucking
He
off the
said that he would come over with his gun if there's a problem.
Anyone digging in your dumpster?
That's not a crime.
Thank you. It's not a crime. It's literally
You
public.
throw
Like there's
something
been a
away,
case.
it's not yours anymore. Why do you care?
Yeah, there's literally like cases in Minnesota or like around the country where like they put cat or like trash in the curb and police have looked through the trash and their whole defense is, well, I mean they intended to throw it away, so therefore it's not theirs anymore.
Now it's public property.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, that throws me, that gives me kind of like the wrong feeling. So
No, it's just that one they're fucking with the one guy.
Yeah.
Digging through garbage, you're gonna find garbage.
The only way dumpster diving is a crime is if they are trespassing on private property.
Well, once it hits the curb, your property line ends right where the curb line starts.
Right, but if
and
they
anything
break
on that
onto if they go onto somebody's property while their dumpster is still on their yard, not on the curb, that's still trespassing.
well, then it's then you just gotta, if you're gonna go digging through my garbage, make sure it's on the wrong
Like,
side of the curb.
the guy specifically that we were talking about, he does not have a no trespassing sign. It's on public property because it's on a driveway.
Yeah, I think no matter what, if you're looking through someone's trash, one person's trash is another person's treasure, I mean, it's better than going to a trash heap. If they can use it, they can use it.
Good old glass, broken picture frames.
Yeah, I mean, if they can use it, if they can find a way to refurbish it or whatever, it's better than it being just a pile of shit, It's better than filling up this ozone layer with even more bullshit. I think we should give it out to all the dictators in this world.
Saddam Hussein, my homie.
Yeah.
Osama bin Laden.
But it's your job to to protect us from these dictators. Right? You're defending my freedom.
Fortunately, yeah. That's right. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out, huh? All right.
Jason, have you ever seen Goodwill Hunting?
Goodwill Hunting?
Yeah, Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's good.
It is good.
You ever-
I like that movie. It had Robin Williams in it. I watched it in my AIT, aka military schooling.
Interesting. Wait, that was a part of military schooling?
No, I watched it just for fun. I literally bought the movie just so I can watch it.
Do you see yourself as a Matt Damon type?
No, I see myself as a Robin Williams type.
Like the character he played, or
Yeah,
his
the
actual
the character he played, and then himself when he killed himself. But
How? What was he, like 47? Is that going to be you?
that's horrible. Yeah, that's so bleak to think about. Can you imagine like yourself in your 60s? Damn.
I mean, isn't that all life is? It's like bleak as shit as soon as you're not a
No,
kid
I think it's
anymore.
just bleak as shit in general, and then when you start getting older, you just really, I wasted all my time thinking about how bleak this world was.
Well, I mean, as a kid, you don't know how bleak shit is.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about like in your early 20s, because your life doesn't really start until you're out of school, because you don't really get to do anything, right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have the freedoms that come with being an adult, any of the responsibilities, all that shit.
Unless you're like a child soldier or something, you don't really do anything cool when you're younger.
Child Soldier would be an interesting guest on the podcast.
That would be badass, bro.
What
Like,
age did you
what were
stop
you
being-
doing in year 5? I was learning how to qualify in the fucking AK-47. All right.
Ah.
And I was like, all right, my bad. And I wasn't even preschool yet, so shit.
What age did you stop being a kid, Jason? When did that stop for you?
When did I stop being a kid? Define
Yeah.
kid.
Um,
This is just kind of like enjoying life and just taking it in, looking forward to the future, being excited to be an adult kind of thing.
yeah, like when did you stop wanting to be an adult?
Probably 2020. I think it's easy for my generation to say. At least me personally, I'd say 2020. Just because everything just like went downhill.
I suppose, yeah. It was a good time for a lot of shit to go downhill for. I mean, I can personally say the same thing. 2020 started off pretty strong.
Can you imagine like the different people we'd be if that didn't? Yeah, I'd love to just watch the reel of our lives. Like had had the COVID pandemic not happened, I'd be curious. But personally, it makes me feel better to think that everything happens for a reason.
I don't think
So,
anything
like-
happened for a reason. I think it's all fucking nothingness and randomness.
Probably not, but don't ruin this for me, all right? So I have to believe just the idea of like, you know, this happens because, because I'm able to do this, or like, or maybe not just that, just like this happens, therefore these opportunities open up, and these opportunities wouldn't have been as easy or as possible had it not happened. So if you
Yeah.
see unfortunate events as if COVID had not happened, I know this isn't going anywhere, and this has been going on for a couple of years now. But OPP wouldn't have been a thing, and I wouldn't be as good as talking to people as I am now. So I'm more social because I'm able to talk on a platform such as this. But
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't remember back to like when we first came up with the idea, the fucking message chat between us, trying to come up with a name for a podcast. I don't remember how that went exactly. But
so actually, this podcast does stem from like middle school when I made my first half-assed game. When I coded my first game, I was just because I like the idea of being on a radio show because I like whenever my mom would drive me to school, you'd have like I forgot the name of the radio show, but like the most generic radio show that was in my area at the time. And it's like that would be, whatever it was, yeah, maybe that was it. But I just thought it was interesting to have like be like a host on a radio show or something. I like the idea of it. I listened to I forgot what it's called.
the GTA radio.
Yeah, the GTA radio. I think it was the Chatterbox.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, the Chatterbox. I listened to GTA 3. I originally listened to it on Liberty City Stories, but yeah, I thought that was fun. So I've always wanted to kind of just post that. So my original name for a podcast, and I still have the pixel art for this. I'd have to kind of like search for it, but it was originally called the Chatterbot. But I didn't really reignite it until the pandemic because I didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
So. Anyway,
remember
yeah,
my-
long story short.
I remember my suggestion for the name of this podcast would have been Rusty Suits, and that's god
Yep.
fucking awful.
That was the first one that I put on there. It's like, well, he had the idea. It was a good idea.
No, Molly, I know it's an
Yes.
impossible task to answer, but what other names do you think this podcast could have gone by? Gang Talks.
The gang.
The gang.
It's too much. We already have
The boys.
the what?
The boys.
The boys, but that doesn't work because it's not all boys.
Well, it would have worked in the
It doesn't
beginning.
matter. It doesn't matter.
It would have worked in the beginning. All right, that is true. I like that mindset where you just propose something and like, nope, everything else is wrong. I love when people do that. That's shit I do. All right. Yeah, I have the original. Yeah, let me post it to opinions action.
I don't know.
Whatever. I'm putting in kill yourselves. But that's the original pixel art that I had. I made this in middle school.
I mean,
you have gotten better at pixel art.
What the fuck? I thought it was pretty good. But
you've
yeah,
definitely
I
gotten
mean,
better.
I have gotten better, but I thought this was pretty good.
It's not even centered. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's not centered.
What are we
It's-
looking at? I can't see.
All right, hold on.
it.
Let me copy it and I'll paste it. I'm sorry. This is the original concept art for Opinion Planet. All right.
I don't
That
know.
looks very like 2000s child game art.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I like that. That's
That's
what I
the
was going
vibe I'm
for.
getting from that. It reminds me of school, kind of.
I mean,
Yeah, because yeah, I didn't even realize that I wasn't even centered. Right. I'm probably not gonna remember that in the morning, but just the idea that I know it now. All right.
Yeah.
But
well, don't worry, I'll remind you tomorrow morning.
it's not centered.
No, I never had the thought idea of like, oh, it'd be fun to be on a podcast or a radio-esque type shit. I mean, I don't know what's the difference between radio and podcast.
That's what freaks me out though. Like, what do people think about them? Because I've too many things I want to do with my life.
That's the issue. You're gonna have too many things, and you're not gonna
Be able to do them all.
You're incorrect. You're incorrect. You're incorrect. I'll do them all.
You're gonna do them all?
Yeah. Except maybe the biggest one, but only you guys know about that. Yeah. I think therefore I came.
This is not good radio.
I did that in my most successful Nocam plays video, alright? And then somebody said, dude, you're not funny, shut the fuck up, or something like that. We get off the stage. Your three things that interest you is true crime, music, horror movies, and your cat.
True crime, actually, that's a good topic.
Yeah.
So what specifically about true crime do you enjoy?
It gives you, I guess, an insight to the part of humanity you don't usually see.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kind of like the school shooters I've talked about, right? We sensationalize the bad people and the good guys just kind of go like overshadowed.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
Isn't true crime pretty much just like talking about the crime?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'd say I enjoy that. I mean, I enjoy
But
the topic
I guess
serial killers.
it feels like, in a way, it brings justice to whoever they are speaking about. They're talking, about what happened to this person and not making it about the person who did these bad things. They aren't making this person, famous for what they did.
Yeah. How do
It's
you
about, huh?
sorry to interrupt. I was just gonna ask, so say for example, I'm sure you heard about it, the Netflix Jeffrey Dahmer show. How do you feel about that show as a whole? Because I think like the biggest criticism people had was like I don't know if I'd say it glorifies him and makes him look badass or anything, but the issue with focusing on a fucking monster like that is
Because
you start to humanize.
I dislike it because they're popularizing it or showing you'll get famous if you do this.
Trying
Yeah.
to humanize or sensationalize the idea. I think no
Also,
matter.
families,
Yep.
the victims' families have said they don't want more of these because there's already been different ones, and they're always just like, I don't want this. I don't want to.
That's my problem with
They don't want to have to
sensationalizing this.
constantly relive what happened to somebody they cared about and have to see the face or a look-alike of the face of the person who did that over and over and over again. And people, the people on the side of the internet that, are fangirls and think that serial killers are like hot and hope that they get kidnapped or something.
The Ted Bundy fangirl letters. I want to look at that.
So that's interesting. So we got two sides of the spectrum: is people not liking the the desperate men, and then there's also like females that sensationalize murderers.
Yeah. You shouldn't be finding like TikTok edits of serial killers. It's weird.
Yeah, TikTok edits of this one school shooter and like, he should not go to prison. He's too cute to go to prison.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine if social media was around when that was going on with like Ted Bundy? Like how many edits you see of him being like, he's too attractive. I can change him.
Don't capture him. I'd love to be
like
raped and murdered by him.
Story.
Yeah. Please don't arrest him.
I feel like people that are like that, like anyone that's like that, needs to get like seriously like checked mentally. Like
I think a lot of it is like not looking at it from like a real perspective, like a realistic idea of what is this person going to do to me? Or what is this person doing to other people? It's just kind of like a fetish at that point.
I feel like sometimes people view these people as characters. Like, how in like TV shows, like there's the bad guy and like people love him. Or like they're just like, oh, he's so attractive. They view him as an actual character, not a real person.
Yeah, I mean, they cast Zac Efron to play Ted Bundy. And there's I get that like part of his whole gimmick is that like he was an attractive, well-spoken, intelligent person.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a double-edged sword.
He's not that intelligent.
The judge said he could have been a lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't. Just being a lawyer doesn't mean you're intelligent.
Yes, it does.
He was caught. He's not intelligent.
You have to have at least some intelligence to be.
Stop! You're starting to sound like those females.
The fangirl.
Yeah.
The judge is so.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm separated from it. It feels like a fictional story because I haven't known anyone personally that's been murdered. I wasn't murdered personally myself by a famous serial killer.
Tried. You haven't been.
How would you feel if you were related to someone who, murdered someone?
Wear it like a badge of honor. I don't know.
Badge of honor.
It would depend. All right, what's the context? Did like.
It's like my context. How would you handle that?
I would say it as a part of my introduction to people. Yeah, here's my interesting family history.
Sorry, what was it? Roger who's saying something? I'm curious.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. I heard him saying something, so I thought it was related to that. But
he was talking about his eggnog and bourbon.
Eggnog and bourbon?
Yeah.
Is he drinking that right now?
Yeah.
Hats off to him. I want to drink that shit. That's the next podcast. I'm drinking eggnog and bourbon.
Eggnog and bourbon.
I can smell it.
Homemade eggnog and bourbon is even gooder.
Holy shit. Yeah. Dude, homemade eggnog is slept on. That is some good shit. Hats off to you, my guy.
It actually smells way better than store-bought.
Yeah.
We made some here,
It
sometime
was like
last
2 or
week.
3 days ago.
Yeah. And it called for a quarter cup of bourbon, and I swore to myself I was never going to go buy eggnog again.
Yeah.
It good, I
It was
guess.
amazing.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I made non-alcoholic eggnog before, and it was better than store-bought, but
It's way better.
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to making the alcoholic version. It's gonna be fun.
Man, it's wholesome. It warms you right up, buddy.
It is. That's good. Even though that is like it's like a psychological effect. It doesn't actually warm you up, but it is good. It is good.
It's good. Does anybody else here like eggnog?
I love eggnog.
I don't. I really
Mom,
don't.
I'm never talking to you again.
Yeah, yeah, we're done talking to you. You're off the podcast.
It's being renamed to eggnog.
No, it's being renamed to Mock. Not allowed.
Yep. No, I like that. I'm happy I'm not the only one drinking here. I think that's the most camaraderie that I have.
It makes you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, it does.
It's such a good spoon. It really does.
I'm drinking gin from the bottle, all right? I need to feel better about myself somehow.
I've never tried gin. What does that actually taste like?
It's like...
It tastes like pine needles.
Yeah, I would say so. But it has a taste
Is it
more than
is it
vodkas.
dark? Or is it like
gin is a very transparent. It's like water.
Is it like vodka?
Yes.
It has a slight difference. He is right with pine needles. I can taste that. It's like gin is in martini, and martini has olives as a garnish for a reason. So it kind of like has like a slight taste
More
of
of
olives.
a savory type.
Yeah,
alcohol.
Less of a neutral, more of a savory taste. Sipping on gin and juice.
Now, what are your thoughts on brandy? Do you like brandy?
I wanted to try it.
Brandy, it's all right. I used to really like whiskey until I drank too much of it earlier this year, and then like I had to take a long ass break from it. But
Yeah.
brandy's pretty similar, but what was that?
Screwdriver, pretty good.
Yeah, screwdrivers are good.
I haven't had one since.
The apple cider brandy is good.
Apple cider, I gotta try that. I want to try alcoholic apple cider to begin with, so.
Yeah, it's E&J.
Yeah, I want to try that. That's good. What would you say? If you could pick an age to start drinking, what would you pick?
14.
14?
You know,
I couldn't. I think I had my first even like taste of alcohol at 18.
That was your first taste of alcohol?
I think so, yeah.
Dude, mine was like 10.
I mean,
I was not interested in it. I just had like just a really bad view on it.
Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, my dad was just casually drinking it.
My first time.
What?
Sorry, yeah.
I remember my first time, and then I remember the first time I had to fake it. It was my first time.
What?
My first time, it was that fucking Grey Goose, that blue. It was.
Yeah.
It was bad, dude. It was a bad night.
Yeah.
My brother got escorted home by the cops. I was missing one pair of my boots, and I remember walking in the door without my pants on, and I don't remember what happened.
Nice.
All I remember is I came home and I was missing my boots and my pants.
You know what? That's more interesting than mine. I've had like only like sips throughout my childhood. I would wear that with pride. That's amazing.
It was
I don't
I mean,
remember the
I
first
can't
time I
even
got
say it was
drunk. I
horrible.
don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
The second
Yeah.
time was my uncle. He's nothing but a Minnesotan out sitting me by the fire, and this and I had to act like it was not so bad, but it was freaking grain belt, dude.
Yeah.
Freaking nasty.
My first experiences was like my dad would only get like IPAs, so I just kind of got hooked when I was younger, and then that's just like my favorite kind of beer now for some reason. Because I started it off of that, and I started
Beer is trash.
trash IPAs.
Beer is trash.
All right, buddy. We'll talk in 2026. All right.
I've never had a good one. All right, prove me wrong.
Beers in general. Have you tried any
Yeah.
IPAs?
I have had one good beer and I don't remember what it's called. I just know that it had tomato juice in it.
It was
What
like a
beer?
Clamato or like some sort of
It was just straight tomato juice.
It was beer, but it tasted like tomato juice.
That's great. That's the worst feeling. Is that like when you get like you're drunk off of something, or you're like try some sort of substance, and it's just like I can't remember what it was. Can't get the same
Yeah.
feeling. There's-
I have that with
Oh.
one bottle of wine. It was like the best bottle of wine I've ever fucking had, and it was really good, and I don't know what it was.
Ah, that sucks. I'm curious.
Oh.
Yeah, because so far the Stag is like a pretty good like neutral flavor. Like that's the one that I normally get. But yeah, that sucks. You remember my first like couple of like taste of a cigar was when I was in middle school as well.
Interesting. You beat me
Yeah.
to nicotine?
Yeah, I did.
Fuck you.
Was-
God damn.
I was young. I was young as shit. My dad was like, "Would you like to try it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I tried it, and like whatever cigar he had apparently like appealed to me when I was younger. It was like I don't know. When I tasted it, it was I can't wait to be 21. This is gonna be great. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm probably gonna have a cigar tonight. Fuck. It's been such a long time.
That's fair. I don't know. I was the complete opposite. Like I despised the idea of ever taking anything, even like when I was 17 and younger. Just like I thought, oh, people that drink fucking stupid. Any kind of drug, you're fucking stupid. I'm smarter than you.
Or drinking, I understood because life sucks, and then smoking cigars was like that was like my mom's thing, and she would smoke it all the time, and I just saw it as trailer trash. But like, or no, the cigarettes. That's what I meant. Cigarettes is trailer trash, right? Cigars. That's what I start to like feel like. That's classy. Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of had the same thing. Like, why the fuck would I ever smoke? And then vaping, it was kind of nice. I mean, it
Yeah.
sucked for like the first couple of times I ever hit a vape. There was nothing enjoyable. But then, you finally get that one nicotine buzz and you feel like gravity is spinning and it's like, whoa, that's kind of cool
Yeah.
actually. And then it never stops. And
First,
then
yeah. What was that? Sorry.
like fucking September of this year, I just finally decided to buy a pack of cigarettes and smoke it because I've never actually bought my own pack of cigarettes. I've smoked them a couple of times beforehand, but no, yeah, it's nice. I enjoy it.
Yeah, first pack of cigarettes I ever bought was right after I watched Oppenheimer. And if you haven't watched that movie, he smokes a lot. So I was like, all right, I have to smoke after this movie. And I was curious though. I wanted to try and see like, all right, what's the big thing about it? Because my coworkers would do it as well. I feel like that's how a lot of people start, is they're kind of curious.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't smoke consistently. I'm not addicted. It's like something I'll do every now and then, like as social, but like I'm not like drawn to it.
Whatever you say.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I smoked like 3 or 4 from that pack, and then I gave it to like a coworker, and I said, because we're about to go to the field, and he smokes more than I do, so I just gave it to him.
I'm
But
sure he appreciated it.
he did. It was nice.
I don't know.
But
It's like ever major experience. I mean, I've told both you guys the full story itself, but just finally kind of like said, fuck it. I'll try smoking weed for the first time. And yeah, it was a fucking event. I mean, I felt nothing for like the first 10 minutes or so. It had a funny taste. I'd smelt it before, so it wasn't like completely foreign. Didn't smell
Right.
good, but yeah, I felt nothing, and then I started to notice that the frame rate for everything was just dropping significantly, and then I started to
So
creep
you've got some good creeper shit.
yeah, I started to have a panic attack. The person I was with, um, I had to like grab onto them for support because I couldn't stand. I ended up falling over and like leaning my head back and just closing my eyes for whatever fucking reason, and just the thought of
Off weed?
this is it, I'm gonna die.
Oh my
That's
god.
yeah, that's still like the
My
closest I feel I've ever
Was
felt
it
like I was.
lace?
Yeah, it had to have been laced with some because
No, it wasn't
Weed
late.
doesn't do that.
we don't
No,
do
it
that.
wasn't laced. It was just my first time. I had not prepared myself at all for what could possibly happen. Like, for me, all right, after the first time getting high, it was a really bad panic attack. The times I tried it afterward, it still fucked me. Like, it was a lot. It was a, what the fuck is happening? This is crazy. But I kind of like knew to expect, okay, my perception of reality might be a bit distorted. I might feel shit differently. Things in general just might feel different. I'm a bit more okay with that. But it's
yeah,
just that I don't know what I was expecting being high to be like, but not having complete control of my body, my vision. Yeah, I just thought I was gonna die, so I ended up telling my crush at the time that I still love her.
You life.
I like her. Like it was,
I think, I mean, just try to visualize the idea of you like absolutely like detesting a certain thing, and then once you try said thing, you haven't prepared yourself for it. You know, the idea of it is,
yeah.
you know, I
I
want to
mean,
do this. Why?
I had
Yeah,
such a complete different experience.
was it like fun and enjoyable and shit?
Yeah.
I mean,
All
mine
right,
was too, but
my
I like was just super floaty and happy in a good mood, and I remember I just laid back on the floor on this like giant life-size teddy bear and just laid there and stared at the ceiling.
see that sounds
I
fun.
wish I had that.
Like I
I
just
was
melted into the stuffed animal and it was the best thing ever.
I
the
need
first time
to. I need that experience.
that would have been better. I
That's
was with
terrible that it wasn't like that for you.
Yeah.
the no, the person that I smoked
Ever
with.
decide to have that experience again, let me know. I will give you a good experience, bro.
No, yeah, I think the biggest mistake, the person I smoked with, not someone I'd really call a friend, and also we smoked in a graveyard, so it was
So you were more paranoid.
just I wasn't in a comfortable environment. I was out in the
I mean,
fucking
Uh,
especially with the idea of the legality, maybe, and then also like the main idea of, you know, it's not something in his character, at least in his mindset at
For
that
your
time.
body, and
yeah.
it didn't like it
But
at
I don't know,
the
like
time.
the first time trying every other substance has been amazing. I mean, smoking weed, get used to it. It's enjoyable, and then you start to wonder what some of the other shit is like. Like I was
mhm.
really curious about, psychedelics.
That's why they call it
I'm,
the starter drug.
yeah, the gateway.
I
Unfortunately.
think I think the gateway drug is really alcohol because this alcohol
You
has
know,
really opened me up with some interesting thoughts here. But
Weed was my gateway drug for sure. I mean, I tried that first before anything else, and then
Me too.
drinking for the first time after like a month, and then well, like a year or so later, trying LSD for the first time, mushrooms,
do you remember
cocaine is
mine
your
or my
first
first
time.
time?
Well, your
Watched
first
all
time
three
doing.
Spider-Mans. I
Yeah,
thought
that was.
that what was it? The Doc Ock scene was hilarious when she was like he went through the wall and grabbed the grandma.
Yeah. No,
I'm,
it was for context. Over at a friend at Isaac's house, and he has edibles. So, all three of us, we take one, and like 30, 40 minutes in, Jason, you say you
yeah.
aren't feeling anything. So
Yes,
you take
I did the classic, this
these
edible ain't
edibles.
shit, and then I took another one because I was hungry. So I had two of them, while everyone else had like one, just to get like an experience. And dude, like when you're drunk, like the world spins like horizontally, but like when you're at least when I was in that moment, it felt like the world was spinning like vertically. It was
That's worse.
weird. It was horrible. But like as soon as we started walking around, and I started remembering bits and pieces. Like on one point, we're at like Library Square, and we went to
Yep.
Domino's. I was like that. It was great. I don't know. I think going back, then you were calling me a fat ass because I was having a generic high because you get hungry when you dry when you're high, but
no, I've been like food tastes fucking amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Cocaine is overrated. It's bullshit. I don't ever want to try it again.
Okay. Yeah.
Xanny Xanny bars. Xanax is it's okay. I don't know, it just made me sleepy, loopy
Yeah,
as well.
that's what it does.
You black out.
Yeah, pretty much. If you can
So that you don't remember your instances.
out, you just get stupid. It's interesting. And then yeah, LSD, mushrooms were pretty fun. MDMA was pretty interesting. The first 2 times I didn't take enough. I felt good, like my body felt fine. It was enjoyable. And then the 3rd time I overdid it, and
I actually thought you were going to like die.
I remember
That one
the
is
story.
very incredibly easy to overdose on.
yeah, I'm pretty fucking fat, so I probably was fine health-wise, but out of everything I've ever tried, I've never felt more out of control than the 3rd time rolling. It was good. I want to get back to that at some point, but this time with like I have the mental preparation. I know what to expect. The first time is always
Shattering.
Yeah, the first time is always the most fucking severe because it's a whole different realm. You're not used to it, but the second time, you know what to expect just a little bit.
But I mean, it's interesting though. I mean, the position I'm in, being in a certain organization that doesn't allow said substances,
Yeah,
but
it's depressing.
endorses like alcohol and whatnot. I've heard peers talk about their experience with mushrooms and like their plugs and like who, when they take it.
Yeah.
And
Should I?
And when you take a piss test, apparently it only shows up as like food poisoning or something.
Yeah,
Is it really?
mushrooms. Yeah.
So
The only way
that
they can test
crazy.
for mushrooms is if they do a spinal tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should I? So Jason, should I buy mushrooms? Have an experience during my week off?
Yeah, I think you should definitely buy it, and I'll pay you back in 2024.
Yeah, we'll play BF1 together.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, 2024 is about to go crazy.
2026, but okay.
Well, 2024 like a brief section, and then 2026 for sure.
2024 for my 21st birthday.
Oh yeah, you're gonna try some shit. All right. You don't like eggnog now, but once you taste it with alcohol, no, I don't think that'll change your opinion. I don't think you're gonna like alcohol to begin with. Maybe wine. You're probably like a
wine. I've spit them out.
You're probably a sweet wine person. Fucking weirdo.
I mean, sweet wine can be good. It can taste all right, and especially if
no,
you
it could probably taste fine. I prefer dry wine, just because of how the alcohol tastes. But
yeah, you like black coffee too, don't you? Fuck.
I was actually drinking black coffee earlier this episode.
Proves my point.
Yeah, it does prove your point because I love black coffee. So.
Yeah, ready to try LSD?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting that the government shill is willing to say yes, but someone who works like a menial, insignificant job says no. It's.
I mean, yeah. I mean, don't we all work menial, insignificant jobs aside from like 10 people on Earth?
10 people on Earth, as in?
Yeah, like Bezos. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Joe Biden, he gives jobs.
Joe Biden and Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Steve Jobs created Apple. It's pretty good.
Everyone sleeps on Steve Wozniak. He was literally the brains behind Apple, but
never fucking heard of him. He sounds like a fucking nobody.
Steve the Woz? He has a Nixie 2 watch. He's cool as fuck. He's like he created the computer. Steve Wozniak was the business, or Steve Jobs was the business guy. So anyway,
Check
happy
with
Happy
me, buddy.
Veterans Day to all the murderers and the baby murderers and alcoholics out there.
Yeah. I suppose should we probably call it right here? Been about like 3 hours.
It has
something
been quite a bit. Kelly, you've posted. All
What?
right. All right. Yeah, I think we should probably call it here before we start getting racist.
What?
Thank you guys for attending the podcast and for being a part of the OPP family. You will be constipated and compensated in the future. I will guarantee that. Thank you for participating, even though we are an insignificant podcast.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. OPP.
OPP. OPP.